Mic check.
Haha, now I did it right. Now they're actually hearing my audio as well.
Huh.
Oh, I think that happens every time I start off one of these fucking episodes. Welcome to episode 5, by the way. Cinco. Made it 5 times. Like Booker T.
Yeah.
5 time. 5 time. WWE heavyweight champion.
You know what? I'm gonna make my show my background.
Oh, you're gonna unblur it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, now I can see the pictures on the walls, and now I have all your information. I own you
No.
now.
Not
I am the new Mr. Right.
that.
Oh, well, my son throws possibly the 15th tantrum today. Based. He's just a tired baby. You know, when kids get tired, man, they get angry, dude. Holy fuck. But then I realize when I'm tired, I get pissed off too. I want to go to fuck to sleep. Why are you people talking to me? Oh. You know, I was digging through my desk and I saw this coin I got from my old security company because I worked during COVID through the whole thing. So instead of giving anyone like any monetary value of like raises or bonuses, or they gave us a coin. I don't know if anyone can see that. They gave us a coin. It says 2020 COVID-19, a coin. And on the back, I'm a hero. You know, that's, you know, because I was looking up how much CEOs made during COVID, and they got like bonuses and shit. And I was like, damn, yeah, I got bonuses. I got a fucking coin.
Imagine getting a coin for something that didn't happen.
Oh, true. For a hoax. For a hoax. I can't believe there's still people, man. There's still people till this day. I don't know, I gotta say, but I can believe it. I don't know if I'm fucking saying that. There's still people to this day commenting on YouTube videos and Facebook posts and Instagram posts like, yeah. Like there was a clip of a show that was recorded during COVID. You know, they had masks on and shit. And they're like, I can't believe we're still being reminded of this hoax. We're still being reminded of this thing that never happened. I was like, well, and I looked at, they're always from Canada on Facebook for some reason. I don't know why, but a lot of Canadians are on my Facebook posts, or well, my Facebook posts, you know, jack myself up. But the posts I see on the reels, they're always from Canada that makes these crazy right leaning claims, and you just press on a profile and it says Canada. I'm like, why are you all? What's wrong? You know. But then I think like it's the freedom. I think it's the safety, the being comfortable. You just end up thinking, you get really arrogant. You know, you kind of forget how fucked up some parts of the world are, and even some parts of your own country. You know, I think they just get super arrogant and super like, well, fuck you, you don't belong here, etc., etc. I'm like, damn, you guys are Canadian. What's going on in Canada, guys?
I already spoke to how I feel about Canadians. Just keep talking about American politics.
True.
Like we need to start talking about Canadian politics.
True. We should a whole fucking episode on Trudeau. You know.
Yeah, please.
Is he still in power? Like, don't they not like him? Or they do or something? I don't know.
I don't even.
You see, that's crazy. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know.
Yeah, all Canadians. I don't care about the Canadian politics or their country.
Means nothing to me in any way. True, but they're so hard dick about American politics. Holy shit. Do I see nothing but Canadian comments about how just everything. They're mostly right leaning too, which is another oddly European thing, I guess. I really don't know. I'm trying to establish a connection. Again, I have no idea. They know all about our politics. We have no idea about Canadian politics or anything. I didn't know Trudeau did brownface. I remember that. That was a big thing. He dressed up as an Indian guy. You know. Remember that? That's like a American blackface, I guess, but the Indians don't care as much, or maybe they do. I don't fucking know. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, just thought that's COVID. COVID's a thing that I guess forever changed us, our lives, and the countries and the world. But for some reason, there's still a bunch of people in the world just don't even think it was real. Think it was still a fake thing that never happened. You know.
Crazy.
I can't wrap my mind around living in a world like that. That's something I literally cannot do. Like I just, all the countries in the world, there was just one big hoax to put on American Republicans. The world created a hoax just to fuck with Trump. It's the
greatest prank of all time.
True. Yeah. Because stuff coworkers that talk about like COVID and Trump and like they keep blaming Trump. I'm like, dog, were you not alive? Were you born 4 years after? Like, what do you? Of course it was. Yes, literally, the man denied the thing existed while it was killing people. While niggas was dying in the hospital,
did nothing about it.
Did nothing.
It was fine. Didn't want to close down. No, didn't want anyone to close down. No quarantine, anything. He wanted everything to keep going. He felt all the affected businesses. It was crazy how he acted.
It's absolutely
know,
fucking insane. But then they go, hey guys, but when they said the mask mandate would help, it didn't really help anything. It was like, no, you fucking retards. Of course it helped. That's why
yes,
people still wear masks to this day. If it didn't
yeah,
help at all, hospitals would just erase masks. There's Chinese countries. It was a meme for like a Asian person to have a mask on when they're sick because it's like they know they all the heavy particles. It would slow down. It would help. It would stop most of the shit coming. Like, but when COVID happened, people just looked at masks like they were just toilet paper, this the thinnest of ply that you play. They became useless. Pre-COVID, it was like, yeah, you put a mask on when you're sick or cough, you cover your mouth when you're coughing. Post-COVID, like, just cough. They don't give a fuck no more. Like it's just like, how does your minds break after understanding how things work and instantly just mind broken? Doesn't like, of course, there were like mistakes made along the way. Yeah, these people are fighting back against their own fucking president. The president of the United States is fighting with his own fucking leaders of the health organizations in his own country by denying shit that's actually happening. So now they're like, well, no, it is happening. When the president's like, they're lying. So now everyone somehow blames Fauci. That's crazy to me. That's the hate Fauci gets is kind of wild to me. Like, holy shit. God. Not the president, but this nigga, like, what? That's crazy to me. And it's like, and then people say stupid shit like, oh, well, one day was one thing, another was nothing. It's like, yeah, that's a global emergency health pandemic. Shit changes. Shit gets worse. Shit can get better. Shit can move this way, that way. You're just constantly trying to figure out the best way. And it's like, I think in my head, like, have you ever never been a part of anything? You've never been a leader of anything? Never had anything major happen in your life where you had to make a split-second decision and you had to, like, kind of change plans as it went along? Like, yeah, this shit happens. It was a global pandemic. It's happened again. The entire world. Global. Everyone was affected. So no one knew what the fuck to do. We were just like, let's fall back on our plans we have for emergencies and fucking see what happens. But you have one guy, the leader of your country, saying it doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure Grandma had it in like October or November, because I'm pretty sure I was in the hospital at that time and I saw Grandma in the ER, and that was when all those old people were in the ER. The ER was just full of old people. I'm pretty sure it was either October or November of 2019, and we were like, this is fucking weird. This is I guess a lot of old niggas getting the flu. That was the original thought. It was, oh, this is a really bad flu for old people. And then I remember hearing ramblings around the hospital where people are like, oh no, this is some bigger shit. Oh, this is some Ebola shit. And this was before the news even hit it, because, the health niggas talk about health shit before the public does, And, I'm just here the whole time, clocking in, clocking out. I don't know what the fuck's going on, And the initial first reaction was treating it like Ebola. Like, we had to close down hallways and elevators specifically for these patients, Like, 2 layers of fucking PPE that you had to toss out every time you used it, Duck masks that you could reuse, but you had to, like, spray them down and put them in a certain bag. And it was some wild shit that was going on, and no one knew what the fuck they were doing. We're all just trying new shit till we figured it out. And then eventually they, 2 people got COVID. We had a couple guards die, a couple nurses retire. Like, it was some wild shit that happened after that, I had it twice. Like, and it's crazy living it and, like, knowing it's a real thing, and then have someone on fucking YouTube channel like, you guys are fucking idiots, this shit's not real. Or in a Facebook comment, this shit was fake. And you're like, dude, you know how many fucking bodies I had to drag from, man, like, security guards at that hospital, we moved the bodies no matter what. It was one of those things that specific at our hospital. Most hospitals, they don't really do the corners kind of do that. But the hospital I worked at, we moved the bodies. They only had at the time fucking 2 refrigerator units for the bodies. There's only 2. So if that body isn't moved the same night, we're stacking up bodies. So we're going up there wrapping some shit. We did some shit. I don't know if I want to fucking say everything, but I had to move the bodies. Like, that's something I have to live with forever. A lot of moms, dads, fucking grandparents, wives. I had to fucking talk to the families if they freaking out that their loved one died. I had to stop people from going rooms because only one could be in the room at a time in the ICU when someone's dying. Like, I had to go through some wild psychological shit and had to hold my shit together as like a leader, So like when I read these comments, I just like, you guys have no idea. Like with Tommy Vex, that fucking loser. Holy fuck. He blocked me because I posted on his thing. I worked in the hospital. I was like, dude, I'll show you the fucking address. I'll bring you to the hospital, okay? If I can, I'll show you where we put the bodies at, because they're in the fucking rooms. Because we only got 2 fucking, and I was just going, and he fucking blocked me for that shit. I wasn't even mean or anything. I was like, dude, this is a real thing that's happening right now in the world. And you people are treating it like it's some fucking hoax from the Democrats during a Republican-led presidency with Republican House, Republican Senate, Republican Supreme Court, Republican CIA, Republican FBI. But somehow the Democrats are just fucking, let's spread Chinese COVID from. It's like, fuck me, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember where you were doing specifically in COVID. Where did you work at?
I was doing security around town, so a lot of businesses.
Oh, that's right. Down. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember. We had they were boarding up the windows of a bunch of businesses, and they had extra patrol, so we had to patrol extra areas. and
You gotta do with the homeless.
I went from like, yeah, I went from like doing like we doubled up our properties during
Mm.
the pandemic, and so every night was just busy, 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 busy,
Mm-hmm.
busy.
Non-stop.
Removing people, and then anytime I had to deal with someone, we had to make sure they're distance away.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with a lot of homeless people, obviously. And yeah, it's
The
pretty
fucking
bad.
distance. How do you do? How people don't know how hard it is to do security from a distance. What the fuck? It's already hard enough. I can't fucking beat your ass, but now I gotta like stay far away. And the homeless, we forgot about that. The homeless people, how many were sick, and
Oh
just
yeah,
fucking
it's a lot.
squatting and the break-ins. I remember you were. Pretty sure we were in a Discord call one night and you had to go fucking dip out because there was a break-in or some shit. Alarm went off. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, it was fucking crazy. You're right. Yeah, you were out there on the streets. Fuck me, man.
Yeah,
What a
it's-
fucking time.
It's a crazy time, but
It never happened really, actually.
yeah,
Unironically. It was all
it's
fake.
just- it's an illusion, apparently.
Yeah, we were all asleep for 4 fucking years. Yeah, dude. Did you get hit hard with COVID? Like, did you get sick, or was it like, were you one of the lucky ones with your strong African genes?
I got sick one time. I
Okay.
couldn't breathe. I remember that. It was
Mhm.
really, really bad. And I felt better after a couple of days. But
Nice.
those African genes, obviously.
Listen, true. Some people got hit. Like, I got hit like a truck that first. I was out for a whole week, in the couch, fucking in my drawers. Everything tasted bad and rotten. And it was wild shit. Like all the symptoms you could think of, I got those. That was the first time. The other times it was like a really bad cold, a really bad flu. But also, I was hitting the gym a lot more. The other times I got it, and I was drinking a lot of orange juice, and I was kind of preparing for it. Like every year around this time, I kind of just up the orange juice, up the citrus intake, up the a little more active and shit like that. You kind of like know how to kind of maneuver it around it because I mean it's still here. It still hits people. There's still different variations and shit like that. It's just not as talked about anymore because for the most part, the quote unquote herd immunity. Basically, everyone died, and then we fucking the ones that survived. That's the herd immunity they're talking about. A bunch of people died, and then the ones that survived are kind of okay with it. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, they think herd immunity is like, oh, we all kind of spread around, and we all kind of get together, and we're all good. No, motherfucker, it actually wiped out a bunch of people, and then we just kind of moved on forward and act like they didn't exist. Like, holy fuck, yeah, and it's crazy how that all happened under Trump, but yet people are still trying to act like Biden is like. The worst part. Like, we've been chilling. These past 4 years have been chilling. Like, nothing's crazy has been going on. If you were talking about grocery price and shit, like I had a kid during this shit. I'm chilling. We're chilling. Nothing crazy has changed. Nothing. Pay attention where you shop. Pay attention what you buy. I can go to Fairway right now, get 2 pounds of meat or ground beef for $10. Go get fucking 3 pounds of chicken for like $10. I'm good for the week. I just don't know what the fuck these people are doing. I don't know where you're shopping and shit. Oh, the eggs. Fuck me, the eggs. I can still get me a fucking little cheap carton of eggs. I don't know. It's crazy. There's that perceived reality of what's going on. Because when shit actually was hitting the fan during COVID and shit was actually bad, there was no time to complain about things that could be bad. But when shit's good and chilling, now we have to think about shit that could be bad. During COVID, people forget shit was. I don't know how the fuck you forget, but shit was crazy. Shit was actually sold out. Stores were actually not letting people in at certain limits and shit. Like. A lot of shit was just being ordered. A lot of shit was getting closed down. Fucking toilet paper. But the funny part, there was always wipes. Toilet paper was gone, but there was always wipes. I changed. I was a white man at that point. I should have got a fucking bidet. Would have saved me all the trouble. But I remember toilet paper was crazy, but wipes were there forever, man. Yeah, and I fucking work in a hospital, and we had a kid, and I don't know. You're about to have a kid coming up, and hopefully.
You got a COVID baby.
True, he has the vaccine in his blood. She did get a vaccination shot while she was pregnant. I had the vaccine in my blood while we made the motherfucker because it was post actual COVID when we had them. And I've already had my 2 rounds of shots. I still got my little fucking COVID card. I keep that with me everywhere I go. They say we're gonna need it as an ID, guys. It's gonna be our passport, okay? Keep it with you. Remember that? Remember all that shit?
I mean, yeah, because the vaccine is them putting in these micros to
True.
track where you're at. That's what the government's doing. Also, Elon Musk is in the government now, who literally has a neural link that's next to your brain that can follow and understand everything you do. But that's perfectly fine. I think I saw that meme recently. That shit was hilarious. They were like, "Oh my god, the government! All they're trying to do is control us." And then it's Elon Musk literally doing that, and they're like, "Oh, this is fine." Like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah, that is fucking insane. Like, we're against all the rich people trying to take over our brains and hack our cell phones. And then I see a post from the same guy saying, "Oh hell yeah, Tesla's coming out with new cell phones." And the guy
to
that
get Neuralink.
yeah, to hit me with the fucking satellite in the sky and fucking make me fucking attack my neighbor or some shit. maybe Agent Zero. Like it's pretty fucking crazy. It is how Elon is. But I mean, I guess because they see him as a reform guy. Because I'm pretty sure before he wasn't as hardcore right leaning. I'm pretty sure before he was just like just a tech bro, just a fucking weirdo South African immigrant guy. And he was
Actually, he was more left because he was talking about like how he respects LGBTQ.
Oh, his kids and shit.
They made Tesla like having a rainbow pride flag and was going against people about that. Yeah, I remember that.
And it takes just a couple people make fun of him from the left, and all of a sudden now he's full MAGA, full on, fuck all those people.
Of course.
Super easy, super quick, fair enough. Yep. Nothing hard about it. Fuck me. What a time. And it's like, again, like I remember we talked about it briefly, but like I want to complain about Trump's plans, but again, he has concepts of a plan, tariff ideas, and no fucking people have been sworn in, or no people have been solidified. There's like 4 people maybe that are like actually kind of gonna go in, and his cabinet isn't full. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, dog, we have what, less than a month? You know, like, it's pretty unhinged right now. Let me share this.
Yeah, I just watching that interview you did. Was it with who was that, NBC? I can't remember what that interview was. It's just tricking me.
The most recent one Trump did?
Yeah.
Yeah, where she was like, hey, so before you got in trouble for saying that you had concepts of a plan. Do you have anything more solidified now? He's like, well, we do have concepts. We have the biggest concepts. I was like, what? I don't understand. So do you know what the fuck that means? He's literally telling his people, I have nothing for you. No, I don't know. We're gonna figure it out, guys. And everyone's like, yeah. It's like, the only thing he does say something, dude.
The ACA.
Yeah.
I want to have no health care at all.
There we go.
What's your plan? I mean, we got a concept, you know. We can probably figure something out. He's like, you've been figuring this out for the last decade. You're gonna figure one thing out, please.
From 26. True. It just 2016. Holy fuck! That was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't. I hate that time hits me like that. I didn't even think about that. Fuck me. It's 2025. It's already been a decade. And he just don't know what the fuck is going on. Except tariffs. He really wants to do them tariffs. He really wants to tariff people so shit can go. I think okay, again, this is me being very charitable. I don't know why I keep doing this. I'm being very charitable. But if I was like really thinking that he had a brain, I think in his mind he's thinking, if the foreign shit costs more, the shit local won't cost more. So then people will buy local things. I think in his mind, I literally think that's what he's thinking. Unironically. But I don't think he understands that the same companies that sell the foreign shit and the domestic shit, it's the same company. And they're not going to have one thing go up and the other price stay. Everything's just going to go up to balance out the fucking prices. Like, is that what they think? And the cheap shit is the foreign shit. That's the cheap shit. The cheap shit is the Chinese knockoffs. And now those are going to be more expensive than the fucking domestic shit. Or they might be just... Or actually, I think they're going to go up. Because if the cheap shit goes up, the expensive shit's going to go up even higher. Like, look at these fucking trucks and shit. These trucks are almost $100,000 now. Same truck that was like $60,000 years ago, you know?
Let me look back to this. I'm looking at his... He did tariffs during his first presidency.
He did do some tariffs in his first presidency.
Yeah, and they were bad. They were very bad. I'm looking to it.
Jesus Christ. July 2020 is when we all started fucking dying. Well, the virus will disappear. It will disappear. July 21st, 2020, while there was an average of 65,000 daily new cases, Trump is quoted saying, well, the virus will disappear. It will disappear. It'll go away. It'll go away. It's going to go away. This is bullshit. This is 50,000 extra cases, 50,000 daily cases every single day. 50,000 people. Don't worry about it, guys. It's gonna go away. You're gonna be fine. Holy fuck! And then out of nowhere, he's like, "Yeah, guys, you should go get your immunity shot. Like, go get your vaccination, guys." After fucking the whole year of saying it'll go away, all of a sudden now we need all to get vaccinated. Oh god! And it didn't. It went all the way through Biden's presidency. It was still fucking people up when Biden went in office. His entire presidency, Trump was in there. It was fucking people up. Jesus, 220,000 people, and this was back in October 19. That's fucking insane. Over something that's just gonna go away, guys. It'll go away.
insanity. I don't know. I don't know. I can't look at that.
Also, I found out.
more and more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
God, we're too nice to each other. I love you. So I found out this watch party shit that I'm using. It actually does. I think there's a VPN that goes through Germany, so that's why it's sometimes the fucking sometimes the dates and shit are all funky looking. Last time I think there's something Eastern European.
Oh.
Yeah, and I remember the first time he was big on like factory jobs and bringing back shit like that, and he didn't. He brought back none of them. He didn't do anything. He helped no one.
He opposed the tariffs, and I mean, they got tariffed, but nothing changed.
I know it was Ford in Mexico. I'm pretty sure it was a car thing. If I remember correctly, it was like he was shitting on people that took their shit to Mexico for manufacturing, even though after he took some of his shit some shit he was involved into China. I remember that. I remember, wasn't it during his presidency? Didn't he have was there like a meeting he had with one of the leaders in China or something like that? And people were talking about one of the business he was involved in. It's pretty fucking unhinged. Yeah, because before the tariffs, I'm pretty sure it was targeted. I think they were just at like companies that were moving there, like manufacturing companies, and it was like specific. I think the cars or something, automobile companies. It was a more targeted thing. It was go ahead.
Yeah, for aluminum, it was like wash machines.
Yeah.
Solar panels.
Jesus.
Stuff like that.
Seems like shit that he's not involved in. But it was very targeted. It was very like selective. This one is more like, yeah, anything that's coming from this country to this country, that's a way different scale. You know, that's like it's like you can either get really taxes on your fucking eggs, or every single thing you buy in Walmart is now extra 25%. You know, like it's some things go up, some things go down, but he's like, no, across the board, whether it's up or down, there will be a tariff on it. Like it's just a whole different ball game from being like more selective. Like, oh, well, I want this company to do this thing, which again, before tariffs were used to impose on certain countries and shit like that. If someone's unjustly trading something at a certain price, yeah, you would impose a tariff on them. You would force them to come to negotiate. That was the point. The point was like, hey, don't do that shit. You know, if you try to do it over here, we're gonna force you to do this. But what he's talking about is like, no, good or bad, everyone just pay more.
Literally like blanketed.
Just a blanket fucking 25% across the board. Like it's, and some things it could be nothing, 25% of fucking $1. But then some things it costs thousands of dollars and now cost more. You know, like it's, people don't think about the scale of that. Like this is across the board, flat, everything. You know, like people that say, oh yeah, the things that will cost $3 will cost like $3.25. It's gonna be so bad. Like what about the $300 or $3,000? What about the things you buy every day? You buy that $3 thing, but it's bought millions of times a day. Like people. Think about like a streamer with like 100,000 people in their thing. Hey guys, everyone give me $1. He just made $100,000, and everyone only gave him $1. It was only $1, guys, but he just made 100,000. Like you got to think about people don't think about I can't think of the fucking word right now. Exponentiality or whatever the fuck it is. Like the scale of shit's just fucking insane. Yeah. And it's only gonna. I mean, Trump is smart. He's smart in the sense that he doesn't say shit, but he says shit. Like. Saying I'm going to impose a tariff doesn't mean he's actually going to do the tariff. It doesn't actually guarantee anything's going to happen. But it's something to say that people can repeat. And when you say I have a concept of a plan, it gives you that plausible deniability. Like, oh, you know, I have a concept of a plan. Like, because if you say a plan, people can tear it apart. Like when Harris came out and just straight up said, oh yeah, we're going to do a $10,000 thing here. We're going to do the house here. You can tear it apart. You can go, oh, well, this won't work because this. But if you say I have a concept of a plan, and they can't say, oh, you don't have anything. They're like, oh, I do have something. I have a concept of a plan. It's like, and then people are, and I remember seeing Trump fans go, oh, he's playing 5D chess. He's not showing his hand. It's like, no, he just doesn't have a hand to show.
They didn't know what he's doing.
Ain't no
he
fucking
was doing
clue.
the first time.
Yeah.
Why do you know what he's doing now?
True.
The reason that it was even denied for the healthcare is because he didn't feel he had a plan. Like he's like, I am not gonna thumbs this up if Trump doesn't have a plan. I'm not gonna do it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like Republicans are just trying to kill this bill for no reason, have nothing to replace it, and now, yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I'm pretty sure there was a time where if they did have something to replace it, it would have been replaced. There was a time where he was pointed to axe it out, but when they said, well, what's next? What can replace it? Because again, millions of people are going to just get dropped like a bad habit. You have to have something behind that. Even though you are supported by all, there has to be something there behind this. You cannot drop all these people like a bad habit. I don't care how loved you are. Even with the like this current CEO shit with the shooting and shit, people like Ben Shapiro getting flack from the Republican fans. They're like, hey, healthcare is not just a left or right thing. This is we're all. But it's funny that I hate it because they only give a fuck when it involves them, and I hate that about people. I despise people like that. They only give a fuck when it affects them personally. Like you should just give a fuck, period, because it could affect you possibly. Like this is these aren't just fucking randomly disconnected things. Like all this shit could come and fuck you hard out of nowhere. But it does feel good to see at least some people having brains and waking up, being awoke. Okay, because that's the opposite of asleep, and you will not take that from me. God damn it. I want to be awake, but to see them say that shit is good because it shows even when the ACA was gonna drop, they're like, hey, if you do drop this shit, just understand that you're gonna get fucked, and that's what he did. And now all of a sudden he was like, no, I love it. I love that they have pre-existing condition protection, and all this shit. I love all that. Now all of a sudden it's just a great thing that he endorses and supports. It's like, all right, buddy, But again, we have no idea until he's sworn in and we fucking see what happens. There is nothing. Only we can go off is his past fucking run, which was COVID. So it's like, if we are gonna go off that, we're get ready to get fucked in the ass again for another couple years, and just for massive deficit spending and fucking tax breaks for the rich and random fucking. My Japanese brain just got triggered. We were talking about pardons. We were talking about pardons last time.
Oh God, yeah.
So I saw a headline that said, "Oh fuck!" It was about the Biden headline, and it was like, but it was only CNN. Mm-hmm. Everyone else had the correct headline, so it was about the clemency. So CNN, pretty sure CNN had a headline saying, "Joe Biden initiates the most pardons in history," and it was like 1,900 or 1,500 people. The actual headline is supposed to be he announces clemency for 1,500 people and only pardoned 39. But it was crazy to me that Fox had it correct, fucking all these crazy, but CNN were the ones that had that bullshit ass. Or was it New York Times? Or was it New York Times? Let me be fair. It could have been New York Times. Biden communist. I think it was New York Times actually.
New York Times is the fucking worst. Fuck
yes, no, it wasn't CNN. Sorry, CNN. I love you, CNN. It was actually New York Times. Yes, it was New York Times. Because even Washington Post did the same thing. It was commutes and the 1,500 sentences. It was clemency. That's what that was. He did not pardon 1,500, but it was crazy because I was looking at that website that you sent me, which again I keep forgetting the link, and I hate myself for it. But I'll find it eventually because I have to actually sign up for that shit. I'm signing up for it this week. Fuck, what was that website again?
Oh, look who it is.
News website. Oh, sorry, I didn't see. Did someone comment?
Yeah.
News website. Let me see. Oh, here he is. Yeah, a news guy. Let me see. Both trying to shut it. Oh no, hop in. Are you in the Discord right now? Let me see. Yeah, I mean I can explain that. What was that website? Do you remember, James? The news website that showed like the right and left and center and shit.
You're talking about Ground News?
Ground News, that was. Yes, okay, good. Yeah, because I was looking on this and it was just crazy that they had that. Damn, I can't see chat. Hold on, what the fuck's going on? There we go. Don't show. Okay, I'll debate anybody. Turn into have concepts of debate. Oh well, which you guys the best you read? Oh, I literally just said hop in the Discord. I don't know. Really did want to get to the bottom of the scenes. I'm good. I'm still. You're still typing. I'm literally telling you to hop in. Go into the waiting room so you can come in the chat. I don't know why we're still doing that.
Oh man.
How do I see the thing? Yeah, just hop on in. Go in the waiting room and I'll drag you in. Yeah, go to the waiting room, I'll drag you in. I mean, I explained it in the Discord. There's a lot of back and forth shit that I don't like doing through text. I'd rather have over talking. But I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm literally telling you to come in and you're saying about taxes. Come on, back in. Don't do that. Don't do the Vosh debate tactic memes. Because I say come in. I'm locked from the waiting room. Locked from the waiting room. How the fuck are you locked from
How?
the waiting room? Let me see. Oh, I didn't set the rolls yet. Hold on.
Oh.
See, we're still under construction, sir. Okay, I haven't set any rolls yet. No, that's a God King Emperor. You can't have that one, buddy. Oh, there we go. Boom, boom. No. It's because I'm actually, while you were rambling about how everything's so angry and we're all mad at you and things are bad, I legitimately am changing up the Discord. So you can wait a second and give me a second. There we go. Bam, boom. Uh-oh. Did my camera just go out?
Yeah, your camera's black.
Yeah. Did my beat go off? We'll swap over to the other one. I gotta fix that one. Up and did my heat go off? Hey, I heard you got that speaking.
Let's dog outside.
Yep.
Come on.
Oh, there we go. Add roll. New frog. There you go. And let me fix this. Yeah, listen. Don't just assume. You don't need to hijack the show. Come on in. You're more than welcome. That's the whole point. We're speaking Japanese here. We just talk. As you see, you know, shit's still getting set up and adjusted and moved and you know, finangled and touched. So shit's gonna be a little funkified till we get everything set up properly. Yeah. No, you're don't ever take it like a personal attack. No personal attacks on you, buddy. We're just speaking Japanese here. Okay, have to switch cameras. Good golly. Yep, I see it. There can be one. So wait till James is back. I'll slide you in here while I get this camera set up. Drink this fucking Gatorade.
Work it.
You good, babe?
I'm like dog.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, is my camera coming through?
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's a shitty camera because my other camera just died. Alright, let me see if I have this other thing set up. There will be some white noise right now because lives are being lived. Welcome back.
Yes, I can. What's up, guys?
Blood pressure.
How we doing?
And salt levels. Wait, Jim, did you get the watch party link?
Hold on, let me check.
Because these other scenes are going to be wonky until I fix them.
Yeah, I wasn't saying you guys were angry or mad or anything. You guys, we had a fun time last week. Did we not?
No, we didn't. I hate you.
You guys are like my friends now.
Nope, I hate you so much.
I think we're friends.
I can't be friends with others. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. It's my new friend.
Who is it?
Oh, you can't hear anything. Look on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just getting the website up.
Yeah, no, you're good. Hold on. Did you see it in the inside the internal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in there right now. Check the camera. Okay. There we go.
Oh, the watch party things
Well,
aren't set up for 3, so at least you can see the thing on there.
You know, I don't want to. I understand you guys were just going through some Discord maintenance, but I didn't get to respond to what you said because the maintenance happened right after you sent that message.
Mm-hmm. It was a very timed maintenance. It was like a timed strike, like a missile strike. You know, it's like people time those things. You know, they launch.
People
out a thing
didn't
and
like
blow it
debates
up.
in the Discord. Your base revolted against you.
I don't have a base yet. Fuck. I wish I had a base.
Well, there was a little January 6th going on in the Discord server. They said no debates and shut you down
Listen.
and they stormed the main channel.
Listen. January 6th never happened. Okay. It's a bunch of people doing fun things. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of I don't know. We're still trying to figure out how we want to run things. And me personally, this happened in our other Discord. This is our second Discord. We have another other one with a lot of other people and shit of that nature. But a lot of the times when things are spoken over text, a lot of the tone and meaning behind the words can get misconstrued and things of that nature.
That's
so
true.
I chose to make the executive decision and say, yeah, we're going to stop that right there and we're going to restart over here. So
Are you guys familiar with the Canadian author Marshall McLuhan at all?
I hate all Canadians, so no, I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm racist towards Canadians.
So Marshall McLuhan was a really interesting guy. He was big on TV in the 50s and 60s, and his most memorable axiom was the medium is the message, right? The medium is the message. So the medium that you're using to communicate on is more important and impactful than the content of whatever it is that's being communicated. So, like, for example, the fact that Plato wrote down what Socrates said was more important than whatever Socrates actually said. And he studied different mediums. So the evolution from manuscript culture to print to radio and he argued that history, the evolution of history, was actually more of dictated by the ways that we communicated to each other. And he was very critical of print because he said that through the cold world of print that is so visual based, where we're just looking at abstract characters, we divorce ourselves from reality in a way where we don't understand sometimes the things that are happening on the other end of that text. Like Vietnam was the first war that was widely televised, and that was the reason why there was so much public backlash to it, because you could actually see some of the physical horrible things that go on in war rather than read it in the divorced world of print. Pretty interesting guy.
Yeah, that I guess my brain works a little similar because I just that all seems like common sense in like my world of like, yeah, when it's easy to ignore things that you can't see and hear in that sense. Like, you know, if there's a war going on and you just read about it, it's like, oh yeah, things happen, and it just says, oh yeah, people died. Oh yeah, people died. But if you see someone physically dying on the screen, it's way fucking different. It's way more impactful to get all those other sensory nerves activated. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You know, I can text you something, a message with an exclamation point and a period, and you can read it 2 different ways, and both could be the wrong way that I said it. You know. But yeah, I'm real big on especially in things that can get lost and literally lost in translation. You know, it's pretty important. But I'm a big voice guy. I'm a big in person guy, but that's impossible in these times. But I do rather will speak to someone and hear what they say rather than read what they write and hear it in my own head.
Yeah.
Depending on how I'm feeling right there, I could hear that a whole different way.
Well, the Vietnam era is interesting because there was a attempt since I think like the 20s to do what Noam Chomsky called manufacturing consent, to find ways to get the public on board with World War One, World War Two, the Korean War, whereas they were, there was such a strong isolationist pull throughout a lot of the late 18th or 19th and 20th century that only really shattered after World War II. And even still then, a lot of people held on to the idea that we shouldn't have a global empire. We shouldn't have military bases all around the world. But every time there came another situation where the U.S. could get ourselves involved, they always draw ourselves back to World War II, or usually World War II. That is the modern American myth now, right? Everybody talks about it's 1939 again, and we have to stop the new Hitler that is, invading. Now it's the Middle East. Now it's Russia. The people like Washington and Jefferson don't matter to us as much anymore as people like FDR, Eisenhower, Truman. Those are our new modern American heroes for the modern American age. And we still use the same excuses for getting into wars, saving democracy, protecting liberalism that they used back then.
So what's your background in like just what's your background period? Like, are you in like schooling? Are you like professional wise? Like we do security and music, and we're more culture guys. What's your like kind of like background that way? Profession maybe.
I studied in school. I studied biology, and right now I'm getting a data science degree. And I work in a tech department at a college near me.
Nice. And you said you're on the East Coast.
In terms of I live in New York. In terms of my background, I grew up. Probably a lot of my political awakening was I was like 14 when Obama was taking over, and the left was anti-war. They were against the Iraq War. They were pro freedom of speech, open debate, open marketplace of ideas, and even anti-big pharma in a lot of really meaningful ways. And that for me shifted my association with the left, which is pretty heavy. I was into environmental activism for years. I knocked on tens of thousands of doors for environmental organizations working on like canvassing and lobbying.
When you say you shifted, you said that back then the left was big for open debate, anti-pharma, things like that's what made you shift away or towards?
Towards it. That's what I liked.
Towards. So,
yeah.
so
I mean,
prior
it was
to
just
that,
obvious.
Was that 14?
Yeah. I was 14 years 14. Old. Yeah.
Well,
no, so that's sort of my first foray into understanding like who I am and what I stand for.
That was a pretty big election.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you looked at that election back then, it just seemed obvious. It was just in the air that Obama was going to crush McCain. And the polls said so as well. I kind of got that feeling this election as well, that despite what the polls said, Trump was going to win in this election. And then I would say where I really started to like leave the left was around 2020, where all that ridiculous stuff with COVID happened. And I think we have some like stark disagreements on that.
What do you mean ridiculous stuff?
Just the extent of mass mandates and lockdowns and vaccine mandates, and it did make me lose faith in our institutions.
Was it during Trump's presidency?
Trump's and Biden's. I mean, going from 2020 into 2021, and a lot of that stuff just, made me a lot less trusting of the government and health agencies and things like that. And I sort of floated around in like libertarian circles and stuff after that. Why?
Yeah.
Because it was so nonsensical on its face.
What do you mean?
So everything from muzzling kids to shutting down beaches to
muzzling kids, like the mask mandate for the kids.
Yeah. like everything from telling people that the vaccine wouldn't get you COVID, and the lockdowns that went on for way too long. And I think that really did a number on society in ways that we're only beginning to understand now, where we have an entire generation, they have other problems that are unique to them, but they grew up under this. Now they have, I think, increased amounts of like social anxiety, all the overdoses, all the people that couldn't see their dying family members, all the small businesses that had to shut down. I mean, the effects from these policies, which were really unnecessary and mostly nonsensical, had a huge impact on us that we're only beginning to really understand. That's my view.
What were you doing during COVID? Like, were you in school at the time, or?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
I was also working too, but yeah.
What were you? Were you just doing like a random job, or I don't know? You would be specific, but like.
Kind of a random job, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
I worked at a small business that,
Okay.
Again, just got destroyed from COVID policies, and they actually shut down like 2 years ago now because of just business became really hard after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I have a special view on COVID pertaining from where I was working at the time. I was working at a hospital during, and after COVID, from 2018 to 2021. I think is when I left Vegas. It's very interesting to kind of see the reaction from people I was working with and what was going on in the hospitals to the public perception of like COVID and its impacts on people. And I think it's the most interesting part before I go into actually like how COVID affected the hospital and how that worked, is the kind of view around why it hit so hard and why everything was so strict during COVID. I think people forget about the whole start of it. People forget about the whole beginning, our reaction to it. People forget about the rest of the world, how they reacted to it, as COVID wasn't just something that happened locally in the U.S. It happened globally. Other countries reacted differently. Other countries had more different mandates on shutdowns. Other countries had different mandates on certain masks and things of that nature. It's just interesting that viewing all of these things, the reaction from a lot of Americans is a very like, this wasn't kind of a thing that was as bad as what people made it seem it was. And so the reactions of the government were at the same time lax in some areas, but then too harsh in some areas. And specifically, COVID was a lot of the reason for a lot of small businesses failing, things of that nature. It's just interesting that that's the take after, I guess, what I saw. But maybe what I saw was more of a targeted reaction from COVID. Like seeing the people come in, die, and seeing the families. Like I was someone that had to stop families from seeing other people inside the ICU. Only one person could be allowed in, things of that nature. When there was a death, I was the one that had to go in there and move the bodies, things of that nature. Being on the ground, quote unquote, during that time, it was treated like Ebola in the beginning. The hospitals that I worked at, they treated it just like Ebola. There was like quarantine hallways, quarantine rooms, quarantine elevators, and then seeing how that kind of changed throughout, where it became like a norm that if someone came in with these kind of COVID-related things, they were just going to die. But I guess when I would leave the hospital and I'd go home and I'd see other people's reactions and how they were like, it wasn't that big of a deal. It shouldn't have been as harsh as it was. It shouldn't have been as quarantined as it was. All those things came after. All that stuff kind of should happen in the beginning. I think if we took a more stronger approach in the beginning and we kind of took it seriously at the time, and there was more of a conjoined approach of, this shit can kill you pretty much if you have any other pre-existing conditions. It can take it down a lot of people. It did. It happened. I watched it. I don't know. I guess I have a different view from people that may have said, well, statistically, this could have happened this way and things of that nature. But like, I actually saw what had happened, and I was just at 1 and 2 hospitals in Vegas. We only had 2 that were there. But just seeing that reaction around the world compared to American right is kind of wild to me. To kind of say that this generation was raised, or there was a generation raised off COVID, it really was only hardcore for like 2 years. Post that, kind of we're at where we're at now. People are just kind of acting like it didn't exist. A lot of people in Iowa, where I moved to Iowa, I was in Vegas, came here. In Iowa, there wasn't mandates for a lot of these things. A lot of people died here too. A lot of people just, I don't think, take it as seriously as they should have. And I think a lot of people, if they did in the beginning, especially Trump, if he took it way more seriously and he didn't kind of push it off for, I think it was like 2, 3, 4 months, even when we were at getting about 50 to 60,000 new cases a day, as they say, Trump was still saying like, it's not that big of a deal, it'll go away. And I think that's more of the failure on our institutions.
What do you think of Fauci?
I think he was doing his thing. I think Fauci was taking the information he was given, trying to give it out to the public in the way he could. Shit kept popping up. Shit kept changing. I feel like the anger that and the hatred towards Fauci should be towards Trump. I feel like as the actual dude in charge, 110%. Because in the beginning, I think we can. I think any person with like a logical brain can think how you react to something in the beginning will affect everything else after that. Think of a child. If you raise a child and they fall down and you cry every time they fall, you can kind of deduce that every time that child falls down, they're probably going to cry. And it's probably going to become an issue later on in life. With COVID, if there would have been a more hardcore response, more of a, hey, this shit could get real bad real fast, how rapidly it was spreading, how quickly it was moving around. If there was more of a serious approach to it, I don't even think the idea that it was not as bad would even exist in the world. I think a lot of that came from the way Trump handled that in the beginning, how he would say it would go away. It's not really a bad thing. And I hold on, just real quick. And I think that right there is the main focus that people have forgotten. That is the main thing.
What countries do you think did a good job with it?
I don't really think anyone did a good job. I don't think it's a thing that you can do a good job with. I think it's just one of the things you react to it as it comes. You kind of take it.
Well, you're saying Trump did a bad job, so you're judging him. I would agree that Trump did a bad job. I would just come at it from the other angle. I mean, I think.
Hold on, real quick. Just the only reason I say that is because I'm American, and my focus is on the America I live in. I can focus on the other countries and see how they reacted to things, but you don't have to see someone else doing something good or bad to know that this person did bad. So that's why I say Trump did a bad job, and I know he did a bad job, as we can see the results of that. And also at the time, other people in the local area, not talking about other countries, but the local area handled it in a way different way than Trump did. That's why even some states were even denying. Some states did mask mandates, and some states said, no, we're not going to do that. Some states, like in Iowa, Kim Reynolds said, no, we're not going to do the mask mandates in schools, but in some states they did. So I'm going off of just America, our president, Trump, how he reacted initially, how that affected everyone, and what was going on in the country. We can then go like to Fauci, but again, I don't think any of those people did anything bad, because even Trump himself was at the end saying, hey guys, no, you should get vaccinated. Now we need to push vaccinations. Trump started pushing vaccinations towards the end. It didn't work. You spewed a whole bunch of people that said this was a bunch of bullshit and it was fake. And now all of a sudden there's this movement of it's not a real thing. There's people saying like, oh, it was a hoax all along. And it's just crazy to see that reaction when in the local scene with the healthcare professionals that I was working with and around, you can see it. Like if people just kind of were there, which is a weird thing to say, but if you could just see the impact of something, like again, you said before, this is actually cool. It wraps around. A lot of people read shit. A lot of people saw newspaper articles or headline articles with death tolls that could have been whatever. They didn't actually see it. A lot of people didn't see it because it was behind closed doors. People weren't allowed in. A lot of this stuff, I think, if people saw it, it would have a whole new kind of understanding of how actually impactful it was. But with the lockdowns and the stay in place and all the stuff afterwards, there was really nothing to see. You only saw what you read. You only saw, there was no videos of people going around in the back hospitals, showing bodies and shit. Well, actually, there was a couple of them showing in the back, just a bunch of bodies lined up and shit like that. But I think people's understanding of what was actually going on is going to be strictly based off what they heard from someone else a lot of the time, because a lot of people aren't in the medical field. A lot of people aren't working in medical offices or these places. So a lot of the connection you're going to have with it is how it affects you and whatever else someone says. But from the top down, if it was way more aggressive in the sense of taking it serious, not in the sense of immediately locking everyone down, not even in the sense of immediately forcing everyone to wear a mask, but just a simple word of, this is serious. This isn't a joke. This isn't a hoax. This isn't a meme. This is a real thing that's happening. It actually can get you really bad. You actually can get sick, and this shit could actually potentially kill you. If I think that narrative from the beginning was the main focus, the entirety of COVID, in my mind, would have been a whole different scenario. It would have been a whole different world if there was a more solidified, serious take. Instead, we got a good 4 or 5 months of it'll go away. When the summer hits, it'll warm up, and literally said it'll get hot and it'll go away. If this is what the person you voted for and that's just leading your country is telling you, why would you believe anything else anyone else says? If all he's saying it's gonna go away, it's gonna go away, it's not that real big deal, it's okay, it's gonna go away, don't worry about it, it's gonna get hot, it's just gonna be another thing. So your whole mind is that's all it is. So anything anyone else says is bullshit immediately. And that's the big deal that I have in my mind, is that half the country, sometimes over half, didn't even think this was a real thing to begin with. So then when you have someone else come in and say, hey guys, we got a lockdown, they're like, what the fuck, we got a lockdown? We're fine. This isn't a real thing. This is bullshit. And then it becomes a political issue instead of just a medical issue, which is what it was. It was a medical issue.
I find it funny that
I find it funny.
a lot of people, particularly on the left, talk about the dangers of fascism. And, it's sort of a word that is thrown around. I think
Wow.
even Orwell,
That's a
in
good
the
segue.
middle of World War II, had a essay talking about every group was calling each other fascist, and nobody really had a concrete idea of what that was. But
What
to
about
me,
communism?
COVID policies were the most
What-
fascist thing that happened
what-
in our lifetime.
what about,
Communism is another one of those red
Yeah.
words where it's like a lot of people don't
It's kinda
really have
lost
a
its
good
meaning,
understanding
yeah.
of like socialism and communism,
Mm-hmm.
those sorts of things. But that's a whole other conversation. We're talking
Is
about
it?
COVID, right? Unless you want to transition to communism.
Well, you transitioned
I
to
don't know.
fascism. I don't know who said anything about that. You transitioned to that. I don't think anyone brought up fascism.
Well, so
or
we're
anything like
talking about. I made the statement that
that. Mm.
the COVID policies were by far the most fascist thing that has ever happened in my lifetime.
So
The
is that
idea
New Zealand?
of
New Zealand
what's
a
that?
Fascist country?
What's-
Is
are we in a
New-
fascist country?
He said it's New
New
Zealand.
Zealand.
Yeah, he said New Zealand a fascist country.
Well, I think that those are fascist style policies. When people, like the image that people have in their head of fascism, telling on their neighbors for having gatherings larger than 10 people, keeping people
That's all
from their
happened before.
jobs at risk of getting an experimental shot, keeping people
Well, let me pause real
away.
quick. Let me
yeah.
pause real quick. That's happened before. People call all the time about parties too big. The reason why they call on them, it could be different, but that aspect of calling on someone for having a party of more than 10 people, I mean, people have house parties, they get the police call on them, they get sent out. The thing itself, has happened
nothing
forever.
is like that
The thing
has
itself,
ever happened during our lifetime.
it happens every day.
People were ratting on each other.
Yeah, that
on
happens
a level
all
where
the
the
time.
government was telling people to say, "Hey, call the cops on your neighbors if there's a gathering of more than 10 people on Thanksgiving." Right?
So no,
That
I
sort of
will
thing
say
was-
that's not true. Now when you get specific and said on Thanksgiving, maybe, but there's some towns where house parties are, you call the cops. Call the cops, they're having a house party. That's illegal. You can't do that. There's noise ordinances. Hey, if you're too loud after this time, there's too many people parked in your driveway, we'll call the police. These things have happened before. Now, why
it's
they're
not about
now,
being too loud.
now
It's
why
just
they're
about
happening?
gathering at all in general with your family on a holiday.
Well, no, it's not
That's
about.
never
No, hold on.
happened
It's
before.
never. It's no.
If you
No,
can
hold on.
link
No.
it,
You're
I would
spinning
love
it.
to see that
You're
happen.
spinning it. No one ever said about a family. Nobody ever said anything about a holiday. Nobody anything
Yes,
ever.
they did.
No. What they said was, it's because you can have those people in those groups, you can spread it. It doesn't matter what group it is. You could have 10 strangers in a box for no holiday. That would still get the same reaction. So when you kind of spin it and say no, it's specifically you have your family and your no, it's specifically people gathering in an area. But again, we wouldn't even have to get to
Again,
these
it
policies.
was on Thanksgiving.
But
So
it
what
could have been
people
it could have been
do
the day
is
before
gather with their
Thanksgiving.
families
It
on
could have
Thanksgiving,
could have been
and this
the-
was explicitly mentioned.
but
by
could
the
it have
governor
okay,
of
hold
my
on.
state.
But could it have been the day before Thanksgiving and have the same reaction? If all those people got together in that same room for that, could it have been the same reaction?
The reason
Just
why
answer, please.
this was up was-
If we're gonna have a good conversation, you have to answer the questions, please, because I answered your question. It's a simple question. If all those people gathered on the same place, the same amount of people, just a day before Thanksgiving, would it have the same reaction as if it was on Thanksgiving?
No.
Would they? So they wouldn't say. So they would say, don't call against parties, don't call against gatherings unless it's on Thanksgiving.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You said specifically it's for Thanksgiving because it's where the families are gathering. Specifically, that's what you just said. And I said if you have the same people, same spot, just a day before.
Yeah.
And you said that won't have the same reaction. People wouldn't call because you're gathering people in the same area, even if you're all silent. They only call because you're doing it on Thanksgiving.
Well, you have to be specific. That's why these yes or no questions don't work here.
No. They do work. You're just that right there is unfortunately a bad faith thing. The whole thing was gatherings. The gathering could have been the day before Thanksgiving, the day of Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. The whole thing was gatherings in themselves. Now, again, I'm not going to defend these policies, but I will defend.
I agree.
But I will
I
defend
agree
being
that
good faith.
gatherings in general.
Okay,
were-
but
were
that's
targeted.
but I want to have a
And
good faith
the
conversation.
problem
And when
is
you
with the
if you
problem is
overtalk
with
me,
your question.
unfortunately, I'm an asshole. I will admit it. I'm a piece of shit. I will mute.
All right, you've been talking like
I'm
80% of the time.
it's our show, baby boy. That's how this goes. But I will jump in when you say something that I feel like needs to be specific. When you come with the narrative
But
that
I
they
can't jump in and say something.
you can.
when
You can. When you're responding.
All
110%. Respond. Please do. I like the back and forth. But when I say something and you start talking about fascism, that's a Japanese segue, which I'm all down for, baby boy. But I'm gonna get specific.
Well, I'm talking about COVID policies
when your
in
point
particular.
when you specifically said, which we can rewind because you did specifically said it's about Thanksgiving. Because when I first asked you if the same people gathered in the same area the day before would have the same result, you said no. That right there is just complete. It's a lie. The point was gatherings of a certain amount in a certain area. But when you come with the narrative that they were going after the families in a certain area to were gathered on Thanksgiving, it could have been for your birthday. They were going after anyone gathering for a certain area with a certain amount of people. It's as simple as that. That was the standard.
I agree with your point about the fact.
Well,
that
because you
they
said
were
no.
going after gatherings.
You said no, which is
generally.
why I went
But I'm
against that.
saying
You said
that
no.
there was a specific announcement for Thanksgiving about Thanksgiving.
Well, obviously,
Police are
obviously.
aware of gatherings of Thanksgiving. So if there's a gathering that's happened the day before Thanksgiving, there's not going to be as much publicity around that. But Thanksgiving, people are going to be on call. People are going to be, there's going to be people calling on different gatherings.
You're
and stuff
trying
like
to
that.
make it make sense again.
I'm not trying to make a minutia thing out of it.
No.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
answer the question to the best of my ability. You see
But-
what I'm saying?
but I
There
disagree-
is
I disagree with that.
A demonstrated difference when people talk about a specific holiday on a specific date, and that's going to have a warranted different reaction. But to your general point, and this is why I feel like we might be wasting time here, I agree that it was about gatherings of people in general. So maybe just for the quickness, I should have just
So nope.
answered yes.
So not for quickness,
Let's
not
move on
for
from
quickness,
this.
and we won't. Not for quickness, but for telling the truth. Because when you say no, you're denying what you just said you agreed with, and that kind of argumentation is what I kind of don't like. Because it was a simple fact. The simple rule is the gathering. So obviously, on a day known for gatherings, there's going to be more announcements. But that was the exception to the point. The whole rule itself, the whole ordinance that went out was gatherings. So
Well,
if
I
the,
agree.
so
But when
if
you
we
put it down to a yes or no
So-
question, that's why I say it's not.
no
that
no,
simple.
but the answer was
But
yes because
I
it is
think we
simple.
can
No
move
no
on
it,
from
no
this
no
point because we agree.
no because I feel like a lot of times in especially maybe I'm debate brained and I've seen so many people talk and people just fucking skirt around things I just don't like. And me personally, I can't get past things when they're not real. You can say we agree now, which I do agree that we do agree. I understand that. But the simple fact that you're trying to say yes and no is something that was the answer was yes. Of course, if they had 10 people in the house a day before Thanksgiving, they're going to call on you. All these cars parked in front of your place, we're going to call on you. Of course. You have too many cars parked in front. There must be a bunch of people there. We're going to snitch on you. That will happen the day before Thanksgiving. That was my point. The issue I had is that you initially said no. But that's okay. We can move. You can say we agree now, and there was just a miscommunication. I understand that, but I can't let go of things when they happen in this area because again, this is such like disinformation around COVID. This information around COVID is such a big reason why I feel like the initial response should have been more clear because we ended up in a world where now we have to try to force people to stay away. Now we have to try to force people to do these things. But if this was like Ebola, and the seriousness that it came to it, now again, I will say, Ebola was way worse than fucking COVID. Obviously, that's not a question. Ebola was fucking horrible. Piss, shit, blood out of your eyeballs, you're dead. But the initial response of, hey, this can spread rapidly, this can be a real big fucking deal, guys, we should pay attention is, if this was a narrative from the beginning, I don't think we would have got to the point where people are trying to snitch people on Thanksgiving. I don't think we would have got to the point where people are trying to get around other people saying, oh, you can't have these people here. because everyone would have been on the same page initially. We already would have been there. I feel like there would have been a majority of people already like, look, we know COVID's a big thing. Think about these holidays. I just had Thanksgiving dinner. If my nephew is sick and all the kids are coming around for Thanksgiving dinner, we all know everyone's going to go home sick. So you don't bring that nephew. Or you quarantine that nephew over to the side. Or you say fuck it and everybody gets sick. But everyone agrees that yes, if we get into this small area with all of us here, we're all going to get sick. I feel like when it came to COVID, that whole mentality, that whole line of thinking just flew out the fucking window. And no one took it seriously at all. No one thought about it in a real way. And again, a big portion of that is Trump's messaging. Trump's messaging from the beginning and even during COVID it wasn't a big deal is what it was. And it turned out it was. A lot of motherfuckers died. A lot of people died around the world. A lot of people did die.
Why single out Trump? Why not talk
Because he's the
about
president of the
all
United States. He is the leader. He's the head motherfucker, honcho, leader in charge. Yes, just the same way when Trump fucks up on
Biden as well, and then Biden
after,
also
yes,
resided
Biden
on
was
the same policy.
after Trump. Biden came in after it was already shit already hit the fan. There was shit
awful policies.
There was shit already on the walls when Biden came in. Okay? So Biden came in with shit on the walls, and everyone's like, well, look, you still got shit on your walls. Yeah, no shit. But guess what? Look where we are now. We're nowhere near where we were before. COVID is not as big a thing as it was before under Trump. The responses were not the exact same. Of course, when he first came in office, everything was, he just came in the office. As they went through, things started to change. Things started to open up again. People started taking it more serious. People started to get vaccinated. Yeah, things move forward. That's how that works. But I single Trump because he's the reason the shit hit the fan. If I go in a place and blow it up and then someone comes behind me and it's still blowing up, are we going to blame the person that came behind me? No. It's the motherfucker that did it. He was leader in charge. He was the guy. He was the head of honcho. Specifically. That's why. When we elect a president, he's a specific leader. So yeah, of course. I blame Trump.
Let's ask about like specific policies and what you think about them, because I think that would be more useful. So like right at the beginning, there was a policy where they shut beaches down and told people to not go outside without a mask. What do you think?
When you say the beginning, is this the beginning when the U.S. was like saying it was a real thing? Okay, so the beginning actually is November of 2019. October and November of 2019 is actually when COVID was actually
I'm talking about the
affecting
beginning of the COVID regime, the COVID lockdowns, the COVID policies that were in place.
Trump's
for
policies?
the next few years after that.
Because he was in office in March 2020.
Sure, you could say Trump's policies
Okay.
that were continued under the next administration. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All policies are continued in the next administration,
Yeah.
by the way. Every time a new
So
president comes
what
in,
it-
the policies continue until they change them. Just wanted to point
Yes.
out. Yeah.
Yes. So what do you think about like the idea that they told people right from the beginning that wearing masks outside at places like parks and beaches were frowned upon? And this was coming from people like
We're frowned upon?
Fauci and like the like our health agencies, the CDC, things like that were recommending this stuff.
Okay, there's two questions there.
Yeah.
The first question was about the beaches getting shut down.
Yeah.
This was an attempt to stop gatherings of multiple people in certain areas and
Mhm.
to stop the spread and things like that.
Do you think that was a good policy?
I think it was a good shot. I think they were trying things. I think
Okay,
it was.
so you like Trump's policy there?
When did? Hold on. I see.
So
No, hold on.
yeah.
Hold on. No, you think that
Well,
No,
because
hold on.
the guy- if
We'll be
something
clear.
in
No,
the
no.
administration
Hold on.
happens-
Hold on.
Let me just make this point.
Hold
You've been
on.
talking again most of the
Again,
time.
I'm gonna talk
And
most
you
of the
don't
time
even
because
let me
this is
make
my
the whole
show.
point.
But we could skip this whole
What about
thing.
that dude over
We can
there?
skip
He
it.
doesn't even talk.
I'll let James talk this whole time. But again, I want to say this one thing. I didn't say Trump, like any policy Trump made, now we are in the shit. No, Trump fucked up because that wasn't the beginning, by the way. You try to skirt around that. March was not the beginning. COVID was infecting people since November of 2019. And then during that time, Trump did not say, let's shut down the beaches. Trump saying it will go away. Trump said things will be fine. It doesn't exist. Trump did not come out and shut down beaches. Okay?
So you like that?
But again, I didn't say I like it. I didn't say I like it. I said I understand it was a shot. They were trying something. I didn't say I was against. I never said I was against lockdowns. Again, I don't know whoever said that shit. I never said that. And again, will come mask wearing outside. The Japanese have been doing it for years. When they're sick, they wear masks outside. Has it been not a thing in their country forever? And then all of a sudden, when we did it, now it's stupid and doesn't exist. It's almost like a meme that when you're sick in Japan, you put a mask on when you go outside because you don't want to help spread your cough to other people. But when it happens in America, now it's like this thing that doesn't work at all in any way.
So, okay, so you still think that was a good policy because the overwhelming consensus is that policies like that were terrible.
When did I say
and
good?
they didn't actually help.
When did I say good? I said.
Okay, so you're just
So
saying.
I said at the time when they implemented a policy, I can understand you are trying to do something. You are trying to stop the spread of something. That's what I said. I also said Trump did not stop the beginning of the spread.
Okay, so
Trump
you think
denied
it was
everything that was
a
happening.
bad policy, but a decent.
Never
job.
said it was bad. Didn't say good or bad. Why do things have to be good or bad? I said it was something they were trying to do.
It's a matter of
it's not a dichotomy.
Policy that you support or not. Like, is it a
In
policy
the,
that we
at
should
the time, at the time, I can understand.
Yeah.
Didn't say support. I listen to my words. I can understand why they implemented something like this. At the time, if your goal is to stop the spread of a disease, and you know a lot of people gather at a certain place, hey, let's close the place down and see if that stops the spread. I can understand that line of thinking, 110%.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Well, I'll just say
clear as day.
Policies like that were disastrous, and they don't make sense from the start. I mean, the fact
it wasn't
that,
the start. It wasn't the start. This was already it already spread. It was already everywhere.
Well,
Shit was already bad.
Just to be clear,
That's
when I say the start, I refer to when the entire world started to do lockdown policies besides
when
China.
it started to react to it.
Basically, all of Europe, all of Asia, with the exception of China, basically everywhere else started to do massive lockdown policies as of March of 2020. So you could repeat the November 2019 line, but
don't do that.
To be clear,
do not do that. Hold on.
When I talk about the beginning, I'm referring to March of 2020.
We can end it all now.
Which is when all
I
of
promise
Europe
you,
started
we could just move on, and we don't have to talk to you at all. Please don't do that. Don't do that. It's unnecessary, and it only undermines the conversation. When you say you can repeat the November 2019, it undermines the conversation. You don't have to say it. It doesn't have to come up. When you already clarified, when you're talking about the beginning, you're talking about when the world began lockdowns in March of 2020. That's all you needed to say. When you say things like you can repeat the November 2019 line, it's very snarky and it only triggers the fuck out of me. I hate that shit. That shit's annoying as fuck. So just please don't do shit like that, and we can keep the conversation going. I understand now when you're saying the start, you're talking about March 2020. That's when everyone started doing lockdowns. Then you asked me if it's a good idea, and I said at the time I think it was a shot. They were trying to stop, which again, just a logical line of thinking. I don't even know how this is like a out of the box. If you think if I stop a bunch of people from gathering in places, this will slow down the effect of this. And you would say, hey, don't gather in this place. Just fucking smooth top to bottom. It would make sense in that sense. Now, where the COVID was already spread, the impact of had it on there, it's too late. We're past this. Again.
So you think the whole world messed up too by not...
Yes, this was a horrible thing. Yes, this was a horrible thing. Trump, because he was my president. I'm in America, and he got voted the president again, and he fucked up. He fucked up. Fuck a more objective view. Fuck a more objective view.
What other states?
Fuck all that.
There you go. I mean, that is kind of your view. You seem very dogmatic to me. You seem to just have an enemy of someone that you want to attack.
Sure.
You don't have an objective
you can try to read my brain and mind read one more time, and then I can explain to you what I actually feel. But you've done that now 3 times. You did that in the chat. You did that before we talked, and you're doing it now. You can mind read, or you can just listen to what someone's saying. Because I haven't done that once to you.
Dude,
I haven't one time.
Most of this time, I've barely gotten to make a point.
So
about you.
And every time you make a point, it just seems like an attack, and you're not listening, and you mind read. I haven't done that once to you.
Okay. Well,
okay.
So
can we just not do that?
When you say
can we just not do that?
Looking at other countries, stop looking at other perspectives.
In this minute,
to have an honest conversation about like COVID policies and their effects. That is the best way to look at how things really impact places.
Mm-hmm.
You see one place that had one policy, you see one place that had it better. How did it work out? And you can tell by having an objective bar to measure. And this is why it's really important.
Just let me know when you want me to respond, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because there's been multiple questions now.
I get singling Trump out for what he did for COVID, and I think the buck stops with the president in many ways. And yes, he did downplay the virus in the beginning and talk about all that. I completely agree. But then what he did was he locked the economy down. He co-signed he directly signed the largest spending bill in American history, which
Stimmy?
greatly raised the deficit and led to the inflationary crisis that we're in now. And those policies, which brought down the unemployment rate, brought up the overdose rate, brought down all those sort of negative impacts on society, were started under Trump. But the problem is they were also continued under Biden, and a lot of people criticize Trump for not doing those policies that didn't work hard enough. My issue is that those policies were bad from the start. Lockdowns were a bad idea from the start. Mask mandates were a bad idea from the start. Now, I understand there's a level of uncertainty in a pandemic, and people want to do things to make them feel safe. But it went on for way too long. There are way too many nonsensical policies. And I think where we can have an interesting conversation, especially if you worked in a hospital and I majored in molecular biology, is we can talk about, were those policies useful? So like, that's why I bring up the beach thing, because for example, that was to me a policy from the very beginning, which I thought was nonsensical, that actually harmed people more than helped them.
I'm just say.
So I would say it's a bad policy.
I'm just gonna go off that point. The whole beach thing, kind of a lie. Well, it did shut down. Trump's whole big thing about that was shutting down half of Mar-a-Lago for COVID, and then they started shutting down the beaches. But as soon as Florida wanted to open them up a couple weeks later, Trump didn't push back on it, so the virus spread even more in Florida, and those people went back home and it got worse. So Trump was very much against the lockdowns from the beginning throughout his pregnancy, and he was a person who wanted to be America's first to get the vaccines before anyone else. So those experimental vaccines that he criticized was under Trump. So do you think once he becomes president again, we have another situation like this, which the person you support, you think he would do that again? Because you criticize Biden, but Biden wasn't the person who mandated these type of vaccines that made them be the experimental in the first place. That's my piece.
Just real quick, you can respond to him. I just want to say that it is on right when Biden got in the office, he signed multiple executive orders rescinding a lot of the policies regarding immigration and COVID-19 that Trump had in place. So from the jump, he did go after a lot of those policies. Now, he didn't take them all down. I will say, I will agree with that. But he did, from when he jumped in the office in 2021, sign multiple executive orders, which is what he was criticized about regarding COVID and immigration, regarding the stay in place, regarding Mexican people not being able to cross over the border. He was attacked by the Republicans for that. For Biden making that change. I just wanted to say that. And then just to respond to your question about having an actual conversation objectively, the question I was asked was regarding just the beaches, just about the beginning. If there was more of a question of how would this affect us now, how we can view the future, that's a whole different conversation. I feel like when they're asked about a certain specific thing, I can speak on that specific thing. We did talk about the specific thing, but then to kind of branch out the conversation, like, well, no, I'm not talking about how were these beaches being shut down at the beginning of COVID. I'm actually talking about comparing the America to the rest of the world and how everyone else responded and things of that nature. Those are all good for future potential things. We can look back and see what we did, what other countries did. We can see how we can change the rules around and move forward. But at the time, the thought process doesn't even exist. We are just criticizing what's going on around us. But yeah, I just want, if we're having a conversation, the premises of it could be more clear, I guess, regarding objectively thinking about multiple countries. But the question I was asked was simply about one beach lockdown at the beginning of COVID. But yeah, Biden did go in and sign away a lot of those executive orders against the policies about immigration. But James had a great question. I've been talking a lot, so I'll let you guys go back and forth regarding Trump.
Yeah, well, in terms of the beach shutdowns, those happened all over the coast of America in, I believe, every state. I know they happened in Florida, they happened in New York, they happened in New Jersey. So I don't know if you're saying the beach shutdowns weren't legit, but they were, and they were into the summer of 2020. And to me, but like for something like vitamin D, that's like a huge thing that helps you not get sick from COVID, and most of the people that died from COVID were vitamin D deficient.
Vitamin C as well.
Yeah, sure.
Vitamin C
But
is
like
really big.
you get vitamin D, the best way to get it is to synthesize it from sunlight and to tell people, the government put out the White House put out a message one time saying vaccinated people can go outside. That level of government overreach and involvement in our lives is crazy. And I know that it's not like you're being put on handcuffs when you go outside, but the audacity that a group of people have to think that they can control your lives to that level where they say you can't go outside unless you get that vaccine is terrible.
Okay,
And
so
that's my view on that.
okay, so that's the first thing. If someone wants vitamin D, go ahead, open a window, and walk outside for 5 minutes.
You don't
Part
gotta
two.
go to the beach for that, Sure.
Part
Yeah.
two. The mandates. If these mandates were so strong, why did Florida, within weeks, remove all the mandates, open everything up? Trump gave no pushback on it and let them do it. If that was such a big deal, every other state could have did it. Every other state had an autonomy to do what they wanted. Florida was able to do it. So what you're saying is that the government
Yeah.
mandated them to close down the beaches, but the states themselves wanted to do it. So it isn't government overreach.
Well, they didn't mandate the beaches, but I get the point that you're making. Yeah, there were some countries that were some states, excuse me, that were less restrictive on lockdowns, and there's no indication that the states that were more restrictive on lockdowns actually did better. And this is, you see, the New York Times has admitted this. This is in the mainstream consensus of like, yeah, the way that lockdowns were implemented in these states, the states that locked down more didn't do any better than the ones that didn't. As a matter of fact, the ones that didn't, in some cases, did better. Because guess what? You get people outside, you get people gathering again, you feel better about life. Everyone got COVID anyways, didn't matter if they got vaccinated or not. It's the same way that every other virus affects us, is we get herd immunity rather than getting these mRNA vaccines, which ended up being very oversold on the ways that they can help us. So in terms of lockdowns, like, yeah, DeSantis had a much easier time, opened everything up, and guess what? He won the midterms by like a 2 million vote.
It's Florida.
Majority.
It's Florida.
Like,
they vote red.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what the fuck they do. They vote red. DeSantis burned books
that's
and they
true,
still voted for him.
but I'm saying he was very popular from that.
It's Florida.
And I think that decision historically aged very well.
I think the decision actually aged worse because he opened it up during spring break, which had the largest amount of people from out of the state to come in. The reason that Florida has a lower mortality rate than the United States is because they were having people coming from other states who were getting affected, going on planes and then getting affected in other states. California has a low COVID level, and they have stricter lockdowns than most other states. So that stat you said is even true. Some of the highest rates.
No, I think
like,
it is true. I mean, I'll link you guys to the New York Times article about lockdowns not working.
Oh no,
it's not because they weren't locked down hard enough. It was because they were based on premises that didn't work with the virus that we had at hand. If there was a virus that we had at hand that was as dangerous that warranted lockdowns, that would be a different story. But COVID was just not that virus. The benefits of being outside, of being at social gatherings, outweighed the negatives that the initial waves of the virus had. And, like I said, you encourage people to go outside to be healthy and exercise and get their vitamin D, which was not a part of the messaging. I followed the messaging very closely, especially in my own state. We watched Governor Cuomo's updates on the virus every single day. And I watch Fauci's updates all the time too. They didn't talk about vitamin D. They didn't talk about things that would actually help people that pharmaceutical companies couldn't profit off of. It was all about do what we tell you you're going to be, or else it's going to be a winter of sickness and death. That was what they put out in the winter of 2021 for those who are unvaccinated. And I'll tell you, I was studying, like I said, biology at the time. I was in classes like microbiology and things like that, at the undergraduate level. But I saw that as like, a lot of phony premise, like the idea that you can get vaccinated and you could spread the virus to other people, or that you would get vaccinated and you wouldn't get sick, which is what they told you at first. And I think that was the fault of our health officials to say something like that. And yes, the buck does stop with the president.
Okay.
I think mostly when they were saying that, that was in the spring of 2021 under Biden. But yeah, I mean, these
It wasn't.
policies
But
were,
just real quick,
yeah.
I guess I'm not just built for these like long form Japanese kind of things. That you're saying a lot of things which don't have anything to do with like a beach mandate. Like you're saying, we go outside and exercise. You can still go outside and exercise. Like you can still go out in the sun, get your vitamin D. You can still. None of these things were stopped. Like you
well,
can
they
still step outside your
recommended you
front
not
door.
to go outside, and these are health experts, right?
So again, they recommend you don't drink Coke and Pepsi and soda. But like health experts do that. But that's just drinking one Coke or two Cokes. It won't kill you right away. Like you can recommend something. Yeah, of course they recommend it because they don't want you to go around other people. Just don't want you to spread it. Don't go outside. Don't fuck other people. You can still step outside your front door. You can still walk down the street. You can still go. You can still go in your backyard if you have one. You can still go in your apartment complex if you have one. You can soak up all the sun you want. You can stand outside all day and just soak in all that sun. That has nothing to do with any of the mandates that they put out there. That has nothing to do with anything. You can still go outside. You can still soak up the sun. You can still get your
no, they
vitamin D.
specifically said you couldn't. They
sir,
specifically that you should not.
There you go.
That was their
Thank you.
specific recommendation.
But saying someone
and
shouldn't.
that's a really big deal, right?
It
During the
is.
pandemic.
Listen. You can still go outside your front door. No one said don't go outside your front door. Let's be specific. It was about the gatherings. A big thing was about the gatherings. And again, even if you, I'll say actually this does point to a big point that I have against these COVID denier people is that like. Someone that says a quote in the beginning of COVID is going to be a quote different from the end of COVID. It's going to be a quote different from the middle of COVID. But the problem is you'll take a quote from one point of the COVID timeline and you'll zip it to a whole other point of the COVID timeline where things were different. And I think assuming that there's going to be any, especially if someone, you said you studied science, molecular biology. For someone that studies science, shit does change when new information comes forward, right? When you get more, just real quick, I know you hit the yes or no answers, but that's an easy question. Yes. When you get more information in, shit will change. Your policies might change. Your point of view might change. Looking at the current political landscape might change. Seeing how people react might change things. So, of course, during an unknown, unprecedented, as you keep repeating, which I agree, this is unprecedented times, shit's going to get wild. I can agree with that. However, to the just because you're a student, I'm sorry, that does not give any sort of qualifications on to say the severity that COVID may have had on people. COVID itself, COVID is not going to, COVID itself, I will agree, won't kill you by itself. COVID itself will not kill you. It's the people that had other conditions that will make a lot fucking worse, which is what I saw firsthand. Anything that I saw firsthand was from the people. I'm there. I see it. I'm not saying it's as bad as Ebola, which was taken way more extremely, which is good. And it's nowhere going to be like a polio, even though that is an mRNA vaccine. It's nowhere going to be like a flu, even though that's an mRNA vaccine. All of these things are already pumped into our bloodstreams from when we're born. I just had my son. When your son gets born, you get shots, vaccines every couple months. I've had COVID vaccine. I've had COVID vaccine. Vaccines happen all the fucking time. And a lot of them are mRNA vaccines. The attack on that science is kind of crazy, but I can understand you would be scared. I can understand to be untested in a way. I can understand that. Like, you're not pumping to a bunch of people and then you're saying, all right, guys, we'll see you in 6 to 8 months, during the pandemic. However, again, this goes in my saying Trump fucked up because our vaccine got pumped out during Trump. And at the end of his presidency, he was saying, go get vaccinated. So he started off saying, COVID's not real. It's going to go away. Don't worry about it. Do what you want. Oh, guys, we need to go get vaccine right away. His whole handling entirely. You don't need to have another leader saying the opposite to understand that that was a bad thing to do. You don't need to have another civilization to understand that was a mistake. You don't need that. So at least at that point, objectively, you fucked up. You in your own timelines denied, then accepted, and then turn around and say get vaccinated, while you were stoking this untrust of these agencies. You were stoking this untrust of the same people and places that have been in power, or we haven't had anything like this before. It's just been pretty chill. It's just been attacked. It's just been taken down. We've had vaccines getting pumped into our bloodstreams, get flu shots every year. All this has been going on this whole time. But now, during COVID, now it's time when Trump magically, just coincidentally, had to be president, and coincidentally was pushing a lot of this anti-vax propaganda. It was coincidental, big word, saying COVID didn't exist. Coincidence, I think not. He
Well, I
was
mean,
stoked a lot of these flames.
I would
He
go
stoked a
even
lot of them.
further and criticize him and says he still thinks that his Operation Warp Speed was one of the best achievements of mankind when it was a complete failure. I mean, like I said, everyone coming out and saying that if you got the vaccine, you wouldn't get sick. And then,
So again, those are one of those quotes.
That's a
that
huge underselling
I
of
don't
it.
think.
And not only
I don't think that happened in the way
Fauci
you're saying
said
it,
that,
Dave.
not only Biden said that, a lot of people said that.
No, you're actually. Oh, hold on. I seen that quote. I watched that video. That's not exactly what he said. That's not exactly what he said. I did watch that Biden quote video. He did not say if you get this, you will not get sick.
Yeah.
That's not the quote in that video. And
There's several times. Not even just one time. There's several times. And
No, there was an
clips
understanding. There was an understanding in the beginning regarding getting vaccinations and them trying to promote them during his presidency. Hey, you should get vaccinated. It will. This is true. It will lower the symptoms, and it will lower infection rate. That actually
That's
is
not what they said.
that-
But they said
that
it
is
will
what they
stop
said.
you from getting sick. They said you will get the vaccine and you will
Damn.
not get COVID.
Hold on. Let me
Yes.
look around. Let me look around
Fauci
here.
said that. Biden
Again.
said that. Trump would have said it if he was in power. So I'm not exonerating.
Well,
Trump
hold
at
on.
all.
So I will say this. I already agreed. I don't know if you heard that, missed that part. There was a lot of missteps and changes. I've already said this. As it went along, people did say things. Now I do not agree because I did see the quote. I do at least saw what was misquoted. But even if the quote was "you won't get sick," it's funny that right there, that one quote, when you yourself even stated that in your mind, COVID was not this big deal. It's kind of crazy that him saying it is bad now. Get vaccinated, you won't get sick. But then you saying like you just go outside and exercise and get some vitamin D and you'll be good. My whole thing was against how Trump handled it in the beginning. I've already agreed.
I know.
I already agreed
made
that
point a lot of the time.
Okay, damn.
But,
Okay,
we're
then hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Damn. Oof. Okay. I'm trying to stay cool. Trying to
Yeah,
not
don't
bring
get triggered.
2019
You have
Marty out. Okay, because 2019 Marty out starts fucking making jabs and shit. But I don't want to. I want to be an adult. Okay, and adults here,
Yeah.
we do that thing. Okay, so again, it's funny that we have agreed on the whole premise. Trump fucked up. L. Trump. That was my whole premise. There's no argument
Well,
there.
I
Okay,
mean, that's
that
not
was
my
the premise.
whole but yeah.
That was the whole premise of the conversation because remember last week when we said we're gonna talk about Trump. I'm pretty sure that's what we said. I'm pretty sure we're gonna come here and talk about Trump. That was the whole thing. I told you before and we can go back to the stream. Let's talk about Trump next time we come on. Let's talk about how Trump handled COVID.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Trump in Ukraine. Let's talk about Trump in Israel. Let's talk about Trump. So then when I come into the premise that Trump fucked up during COVID, that is the premise that we brought up. And you agreed. Trump fumbled the ball many times. But you also said Fauci fumbled the ball. Cool. Fauci fumbled the ball plenty of times. Fauci's not president.
Well,
Fauci's
I'm
not president,
talking
and then Trump president.
I believe
and then
how
Trump
we,
got
how we
elected
got on
again.
this too was talking about like, what changed in you, and I was like, a lot of the COVID policies made me not trust institutions. So we started.
I did ask about
it
exchange institutions.
We could
Oh, hold
talk
on, no,
about
keep going,
anything.
because there was more than that.
Yeah.
There was more than that. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
There was multiple things you said there, and I talked about that, and then you brought up fascism and how COVID was the most fascist thing. So you brought up this conversation regarding policies. I didn't regard the conversation regarding policies. I just want to know what
Yes,
changed your
I
mind.
did. No, I
No,
totally
okay.
did, and that's why I'm talking about them. Yeah.
But how you presented
just
that
wanna
was not in
make
that
the
sense.
point.
I really want you to understand that how you have our conversations is really, 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 really important.
Okay.
You even brought it up before. It's not about what you said, but how you say it. I mean, maybe you said how you write it down or whatever, but it's how you say it. So, damn, when you keep saying it, don't get triggered. Fuck, man, it's crazy. It's crazy that
I think I always said that once.
it's crazy. That even that, honestly, like
We're having a good time. Are we not? We're having a good time. I'm enjoying myself.
I know you probably
think-
are, but I'm holding back a lot of the things that I told James I wouldn't hold back on. I told James,
you could
hold
if
on,
you
don't
wanna-
interrupt me
if
again. I'll
wanna
mute you.
attack
Don't
me-
interrupt me again. I'll mute you, please. Give me 1 second. I get this out. So I told James from the beginning that I'm just gonna be who I am during this time, and we're not gonna hold back on these things. Okay? I've lied to him. Okay? I've held back. Man, this is Dad Marty many times. It has nothing to do with attacking. It has nothing to do with attacking. I don't have to attack you. I don't have to be mean to you at all. But there is a line of like respect. I think respect's a real big thing. In this podcast, I want to put everyone out there when the two people that are probably watching, it's called Two Black Dads. And a lot of things that I think people have lost in this country is respect. I think respect has disappeared from every platform you could think of when it comes to people having conversations. And respect can have nothing to do with like talking shit. I talk shit to my friends all the time. Respect, I think, a lot of times to do with tone and how you come at things, which could be tone at the same time. And I feel like the way that, even if I get loud, it's never attacking. I don't think I've called you a name or anything, but you've said a lot of sly shit. Just a lot of even that, it's really under jabs. Like you've been just little suckers, which is fine. No, hey, hold on. Did I say you can't do it? See what you did right there? You see all I did was point out something. You said you're tone policing me. Never said you couldn't do it. Never said you couldn't. You see that right there, that example of me saying you're doing something, you saying you're policing me, and I'm saying no, I never said you couldn't do it. That's what I mean. That kind of level of when people talk. People forget to talk like humans. Like when we talk about, I like talking over voice and stuff, and then you go on this fucking diatribe about a Canadian author and about how he had this. I don't give a fuck. No one cares. People talk like humans. Talk like a human. That's my main thing. I was like, just talk like a human. You're a person. I'm a person. Jay's a person. We're all fucking people here. Okay? And I said 4 episodes ago, I'm a Japanese motherfucker. I will talk all goddamn day long. James has known me for fucking 20 plus years. Nigga, I'm a yapper. That's been my thing. I do. You pointed out I yap, it means nothing to anyone because I'm gonna yap. It's gonna happen, you know? But what I won't tolerate is disrespect. I fucking hate that shit. And I think because people have become so fast and loose with like their words and their tones and shit, people have lost just that simple, real easy. Like even James, when he responded to you, I've never seen James talk so politely in my fucking life. Just talk so adequately. That motherfucker's like, well, look, let me talk about your point. Fuck that. 2 black dads. I'm gonna talk to you like a dad. Chill. Just chill. Just chill. We can chill. We can go back and forth. We can disagree. But the other shit, it just has to go. It has to go. It has to go. You know. But we can talk again. I admitted before and think, yeah, I shut the chat down. I found myself getting to real unshit. Nope, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna reset. We're gonna come back. Okay? All my shit's in voice now. We can go back and forth. 2 things that are gonna happen. I'm gonna talk forever. That's what happens. Welcome to the podcast. We speak Japanese here. James is gonna sit there and make face and then say, all right, James, go ahead. And then he's gonna fuck with his dog. And that's what happens. When James gets hyped up, he's gonna make a conversation. Cool. Okay? But we won't disrespect you. I'm not gonna belittle you. I'm not gonna make a snide comment against you. Because I feel like that devalues the conversation. I feel like that removes the respect element of it. Now, we could even be cool as fuck. And if we get to that cool as fuck level, jab all you want, okay? Because that's how we are with my friends. All right, we're real chill, okay? But just let's just cool real quick. Bring it back, okay? Main conversation I want to have with you was about regarding Trump. Okay, we can compare him to other leaders. We can compare him to other people. But him as Trump is a failure. He failed. He failed as president during COVID. He failed as a president regarding taxes. He didn't release any of the promises he was gonna do. He didn't build the fucking wall. Trump is a shit president. He's a shit person. He's okay with fucking grabbing bitches by the pussy. He literally just come out and say, yeah, they'll let you do what they want to because you're famous. Like, Trump's a shitty person. He's not a good guy. Bad business thing. 6 bankruptcies. Shit fucking dude. Not good in business. Not good as a person. Trump has bounced back and forth between Democrat and Republican. Trump has bounced back and forth between paying politicians off to saying I'm the politician to get paid off, to then having his whole cabinet get arrested for fucking fraud and then pardon them off. Trump is a shit person. Trump is shit all around. Trump has done no good, except for the rich. Did a lot of tax breaks. That's a good thing. Space Force. That's cool, I guess. You know, fun thing. Trump's a shit guy. That's my premise of this whole thing. And you can say I'm dogmatic. Yes, the fuck I am. Because when people that support Trump make jokes about shit like abortion and controlling the body of another person, which we could talk about fascism. I mean, fuck me. Who are you to tell a person what they can and can't do with their body? Like, you guys are against forcing masks on people, but I can force that baby inside you. You know, that's kind of weird. I mean, I guess that's strange to me. Like, you can be so against a mandate or something medical on you, unless it comes to a woman, then we're all on board for that. Fuck yeah, yeehaw. You know, because choice is the right way, which I agree. You should have a choice to wear a mask. You should have a choice to get a vaccine. You should have a choice if you're going to have a baby or not. That should be a choice. That's a free way, you know? But it's crazy that these same people that are so gun-ho, that everything was so crazy and bad and outreach and there's so much control over everything. When it comes to this, fuck it. People are supporting Trump saying, yeah, I'll send the whole family home. What the fuck? That's insane. That's an insane thing to say. It's unhinged. You're illegally here? Okay, cool. Fuck off out of here. Also, your family. What the fuck? That's a wild thing to say. Trump had an interview with fucking the people. Fuck me, it's gonna skip my mind because I'm fucking triggered right now. But the people that run the fucking money forum and some commerce forum, and he asked for an actual, legitimate, what are you gonna do? This motherfucker said, oh, we've done a lot of things. My daughter Ivanka was great things, and Jerry did a great things. We're gonna do a lot of good things with that thing. It was all, he's fucking rambling. He said nothing. He's fucking unhinged. But when Joe Biden fumbles on a fucking debate, this man's having the mental breakdown of a fucking old senior citizen. It's insane. The level that Trump gets praise for fucking up, but everyone else is always the issue. Let's go to Fauci. Fuck Fauci. Fuck him. He fucked up. He's a piece of shit. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Who cares? Fuck him. Because at the end of the day, who was signing the motherfucking laws? Who was signing the motherfucking policies? It got down to even the governors. As James pointed out, and I pointed out. Kim Reynolds and the fucking governor of fucking Nevada had two totally different responses to the same policies pushed by the fucking government. Pushed by the federal government. And they reacted two different ways. There are some states that didn't have anything. They didn't give a fuck. They were like, yeah, whatever. Who don't care. Open everything up. Fuck all you guys. No one says anything about them. What happened to all this outreach? What happened to all this control? What happened to all these fingers on it? It didn't affect them. They said, fuck you. We're not going to do that. When Trump wanted to do some shit, I can't fucking remember that dude. Some shit in fucking Nevada. I can't remember that guy's name, but he was fucking standing strong. He said, fuck you, that shit's still closed down. Whether you agree with the lockdown, say they're actually not going. None of us here are scientists. Okay? We are always doing appeal to authority when it comes to these things. And even when it comes to appeal to authority, there's two sides to every fucking story. Fact still remains, Trump is shit. Trump is bad. And this country voted for him. Again. Which we looked at the exit polls. It got down to about 3 million votes. It was about a difference of 3 million votes. And 3 million votes went to third party. If that shit switched around, Harris could have won. Okay? It's just crazy to me that if you have any woman in your life, you would support a party who celebrates control of their bodies. Even if you don't agree on abortion. It's good not to agree. We're in America. But the fact that you would be happy about that, it blows my mind. Personally. I can't see a world where I would support someone like that. Or support them with a party where two people are here and the even person that supported you before is gone because you're ready to tell people to kill that motherfucker because he didn't do what you said. Pence is gone. So you bring in J.D. Vance, who then calls you America's Hitler. It's fucking insane. The problem that I see is that people keep saying he's being picked on or he's being attacked. People are going against him. They're doing it in a way that's never been done before. Yeah, he's a fucking person that shouldn't be in power in this way. Okay? He's a shit fucking guy. Now, I don't know why you personally voted for him, which I'll ask you, but I think you did say before, but we'll get on that because I think we did have a disagreement regarding Iran and Ukraine and Israel and Russia. But the first time people voted for him, I understood that wave of being anti-establishment anger, post-Bernie Bros, hate for Hillary, all that shit building up and getting that. I understand that. Voting for him this time, you have now divorced your brain from reality and are living in a whole different world. Anything that people have said so far that is against the current establishment is bullshit. He signed more bipartisan bills than past, 3, 4, or 5 presidents? There's been crazy historic, like the CHIPS Act was crazy. Beautiful. Bolster us. The fucking Infrastructure Act. Beautiful. Bolster us. Great things. That Trump himself said he was going to pass. I do want to point out. Trump said he was going to get the infrastructure bill passed. He did not. Okay? If you're angry at the border, why the fuck you support Trump who stopped the fucking border bill that came from a Republican? This was a Republican bill. This is not a Democratic bill. They did not write that fucking thing. They co-signed on the bitch. This is a Republican bill. And Trump even told them don't do it because I want to run on that. Trump just had a recent interview. I ran on the border and immigration. I ran on groceries. I said groceries. He's admitting he told you guys what not to do. He ran on it. People voted for him. It's such a it's someone saying, I'm going to manipulate you. This is how I'm going to do it. You get manipulated. He said, told you I was going to do it. Telling people you don't got to vote again. Once you vote for me, you don't have to vote again. If Biden said that, there would be January 6th every fucking day. If Biden came out and said, look guys, vote for me. You don't got to vote ever again. It would be the most conspiratorial. He's going to take over the world. Everything's going to end. But when Trump says it, nothing. Silence. Trump has the whole main COVID happen during his presidency. The entirety of the main thing. It goes over to Biden. Biden signs. Boom! Direct orders to chop most of those policies down. The narrative is it continued under Biden. The end of this ramble is to say Trump is insane. And supporters don't give a fuck about anything. It's bullshit. You don't actually care. I think it's deeper. There's some anger or resentment towards something establishment. And there's this urge to shake shit up in a way that's unhinged. Because any issues people have about Ukraine and Russia somehow fall apart when it comes to Iran and Israel. It's crazy. any issues, both nukes, both invasions, both fucking genocides from both sides, but somehow when it's Russia, Ukraine, there's this deep rooted, listen guys, both sides, this side has been chosen as a victim, they need help, we should support them, we shouldn't do this war, give them what they want. When we come to Iran, Israel, it's like, who knows? There's no understanding, there's no, what should we do, even though there's nukes all in that bitch. Both sides have nukes there. It's not just one side, both them niggas got nukes. But there's no fear of like third war. And we directly support them under Biden. And Trump said, I directly support Israel. Whatever he wants to do, let's fucking do it. But there's no like, ooh, shit, what does that mean? There's no fear. There's no shudder. Even though, what the fuck? They will just erase Palestine. That shit won't exist. Bye-bye. Boop. Gone. There's no one to stand up against that. But that's where we're at now. All these people supported Trump. Any issue they said they had before on one thing, it goes out the window on the next thing. It's I mean, if you can make arguments, I guess, but I mean, between abortion and fucking masks, between abortion and a vaccine, that's insane to me. I don't understand that. How you can hold such hatred for control over your body medically, but such gleefulness when it's a woman, you know? So like that's my mind under Trump, and all of that was linked to something else. It's not just some random dogmatic, that's an evil person. I'm looking at actions. Even reference to 2016 understood the vote because of the reaction, the anger. Anti-establishment can fully understand that. But after all that we've seen from him, how anyone could think that he has any brain cells still pumping in that fucking stealth planes are actually invisible brain is beyond my mindset. Unless it was about Harris being a chica. Possibly. Maybe motherfuckers don't like bitches. Maybe because she's an Indian, Jamaican, African, Asian bitch. I don't fucking know. Whatever excuse motherfuckers want to come up with. But everything that happened during these 4 years were better than COVID 4 years. There's no way anyone with a mindset can say the past 4 years were worse than when Trump was in office. That's insane. Maybe the first year or 2 years he got in office post-Obama. But as an end result of the country we ended up at under Trump, but under Biden when eggs are maybe a little expensive, it's the end of the world? That's just crazy to me. Gas is up, there's a war in Ukraine, that makes sense. We're pumping out the most crude oil we've had ever from America, but somehow we're not pumping oil, we need to do more. Look at what happened to the steel makers. The union that was supporting Trump turned around and said, nah, fuck that deal. Fuck you guys. Motherfucker came out and said it felt like a punch in the gut. What the fuck do you think was gonna happen? This is what Trump does. Trump tried to fucking bring in Matt Gaetz, the pedophile guy. Motherfucker had to bow out because he was so shit and that fucking report was gonna come out. Look at the fucking, the head of the FBI guy he wants to bring in. They keep saying CIA and FBI are corrupt. They're Republican led by fucking someone Trump put in fucking place. It's insane. And this is the majority of the people. This is why we started this fucking podcast. Is because majority of this fucking country are unhinged. And there's so much craziness. And again, I'm an unhinged person. I've accepted that in my life. I'm not denying that. However, I in no way would ever support a person that grabbing bitches by the pussy. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Goes on TV and does this to the front of the reporter, making fun of it. Is it Carlos Mencia going, dun, dun, what the fuck are we doing here? Who are we? This is insane. It's insane. And I need you, okay? I need you. All right, this is truly the end. I need you to please help me understand the mind of someone that supports that. Someone that, even if you don't fully support everything, which I know people say, well, I support one thing, but not everything. Yes, you do. Because when you vote someone, you support everything they do. Because you're not voting for them to only sign one law in. You're not voting for them only to change one thing. You're voting for them to be president, which means they get to change everything. Single issue voters are retarded. You shouldn't be talked to as humans. You're mentally disabled because there's no such thing as a single issue president. They don't just get to come in and only change that one single issue they do. They do a bunch of shit. So if you see their whole portfolio and everything involved and everything they're going to do, and you go, well, I like this one thing, so I'm going to vote for that person, you are supporting everything else. And that's crazy to me. I can't wrap my mind around that, and I've tried, okay? I've tried, and I can't do it. So I don't need a quote from a Canadian author from the 40s, okay? I don't need that. I need you to tell me your mindset when you went to that ballot box and you said Trump would be good for this country because what he did 4 years ago was good and better and I guess he wasn't in control. I don't know how people spin COVID and say Trump. Like, that would be if Biden was president during Trump, ain't no way in hell you gonna tell me that anyone would support another Democratic president if that happened under fully. Even if it went Biden to Trump, there's no way people are like, well, you know, Fauci. No, it would be Biden, and they would fucking lose their mind, like with Hunter Biden. They'll lose their fucking minds. But when it happens with Trump, give him a second shot. Make America great again. It's crazy to me. Okay? Before you go, I mean, James, I speak Japanese, but you're more concise. Okay? I love you, and I want you to just give any take you got. Okay? Anything you got.
I mean, you laid it out pretty well. I mean, again, compared to Trump's presidency and Biden's presidency, it's been night and day. Like what? Trump was about to have the government shut down because they didn't want to pay for the wall.
Longest shutdown in history, baby. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like, I mean, compared to what Biden has passed and what Trump's passed and how Biden's handled the pandemic, pretty much ended it by 2022. Like, all the mandates were done. We act like the mandates were going on for 10 years and it was a dictatorship. It lasted probably like 2 years at the most. Everyone got vaccine. Everyone got the vaccine. The people that didn't get it, and we moved on. Like, it is not as crazy as, like, you stated it as being so, like, pushed down on the government. If anything, it was more states than it was for governments. It was the government itself. So the states were the ones who dictated how they wanted to react to the lockdowns, even under Biden. So I just feel like that's the way that you came about that was wrong. And I just feel like Trump, if he became president again, we're gonna take steps back in the wrong direction to where we can take steps forward to be able to make the country better. Because he wants to make the country great again, but when he was president, there was riots. We had a pandemic. He couldn't pass any bills seriously. He had to do executive orders, which didn't really do anything of importance. He tried to kill the ACA, which failed. But what he did kill the ACA was remove the mandates for people to have health care, which made healthcare prices skyrocket because people weren't putting in, which everyone should be putting in. So I just want to hear your opinion on why you think Trump would be better. That's just my whole small thing.
Hey, cool. Well, thank you guys. So, you know, the reason why I found your podcast was because I listened to a lot of progressive podcasts. And I actually listened to so much that it would recommend me a podcast that was like just starting. Because I always like to hear what all different sides think. And I think that's how we should operate. And I think we should always cross boundaries and talk to other people. And I know people did with me. And I would adamantly argue for why Clinton was better or why Bernie was better. And, you know, people talked to me, and it was only after lots of years of conversations and open dialogue did I finally come to my senses. And I think the thing that you guys might not realize is that we live in a different world, you and I, that we have totally different perspectives on things. And I can tell just by the way that you guys talk about his presidency and things that happen in the world. And there's some overlapping things, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the reasons why I felt like the Democratic Party had to lose and why the left and this whole election was sort of a referendum on, you know, they say wokeism. A lot of it was on like neoliberalism, and that machine, that apparatus had to lose. And a lot of the reason why I left that sort of postmodern neoliberal ideology was because of how they strawmanned every argument. How it seemed like every way all the biggest influencers, I couldn't find honest people on the left. With a few exceptions, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like every single person. Obviously, it's a broad coalition and has all different kinds of groups. And there are leftists that I like and that I listen to. But overall, what I find is that it's very dogmatic. It's very hard to press people on issues because usually they just don't want to debate. They just don't want to talk about it. And that's part of the reason why I'm here, because it's like, finally, people that kind of, although they seem, I don't know how interested in my point of view, but they kind of want to know about why somebody would vote for Trump. So, yeah, my history was, like I said, I supported Obama, and then I supported Bernie in 2016. I was a big Bernie supporter, and then he basically threw it all behind Hillary. I reluctantly voted for Hillary, and then in 2020, I came to the conclusion that a continuing of the Trump administration, would be better than a new Biden administration, and I did that mostly based off foreign policy. I think when you look at the American government apparatus, the biggest issue as a global empire is war, and it's one that's probably good to focus on in the wide variety of topics. I mean, we can make tit for tat comments about what one or the other said all day, but war is the biggest part of our military budget, or biggest part of our national budget. It is in some ways the most important issue because it's national security and nuclear war and all that stuff, and the direction that we're going, a lot of which I outlined in the Ukraine war last time I came on, had to stop. I thought the best thing that Trump did during his presidency was try to pull out of Syria. I say try because he ordered to pull out of Syria and his own military wouldn't fully do it. Tried it several times. Although, granted, he did bomb Syria twice in the beginning and fell into the anti-Assad propaganda. Not saying Assad's a good guy, but that he would be worse than whatever would replace him. So my look of it was, at the time in 2020, that a Trump administration would have less war than an incoming Biden administration. And I think you see that I was vindicated on that decision now, with a war exploding in Ukraine,
Not at all.
the Middle East in complete unrest, and
2014?
us giving military aid and
Was it
funding to
2014?
Taiwan
Huh?
at the level that we're at. And I think the world
I'm
is a
sorry?
fundamentally more dangerous place. I don't think these policies
Because of
serve the
Biden?
American people.
Somehow-
I agree that a lot of Trump's
somehow-
foreign policy was really, really bad, and I can talk for a
Yeah,
long
I
time
agree it's really
about
bad,
that.
but also it's better
But,
than Biden.
You know,
even
when
though it was really
he left
bad,
his administration,
it's pretty fucking
we weren't
amazing.
at war we weren't engaged in this proxy war with Russia. There wasn't this war breaking out in the Middle East, as the way that there is just conflict all over the place.
Come on. Okay,
And
now you're just
there
being,
was at least a notion
now you're being extremely
that,
disingenuous.
there was going
There
to
wasn't
be
conflict
a
in the
sort of
Middle
peace
East?
through strength
Are you
model,
out of your fucking
which is,
mind?
or an America First model, which is at least better than what the administrations had planned now. And I give credit to Biden for withdrawing out of Afghanistan. Although the way he did it was a disaster, it was the right thing to do, because staying in Afghanistan was a fool's errand to begin with.
It always
But
fucking kills
When
me.
you look at how
No wars during
that administration,
fucking
which was a continuation of the
COVID.
Obama administration, supported the civil war in Syria, supported overthrowing Gaddafi in Libya, supported the genocide in Yemen. Maybe you don't want to call it a genocide, you can call it something, whatever. Supported the Saudi Arabian war in Yemen, supported Israel's war for Gaza and Palestine, how they support the war in Ukraine now. And this sort of is interesting because, like I said, when I joined
it's just all a
the
bunch
Democrats,
of bullshit, and this is exactly
in,
what I said.
when I was a teenager,
just
before I could
angry.
even vote,
They're
my
just
first
angry at
election
the
I voted
world.
in was 2012.
And they're just angry. That's
They
all
were
it is.
against the Iraq War.
You're just mad,
But,
and so you want.
I
things to
typically
change, but-
align with the
so you
older, more
vote for some-
isolationist right that wants to
Yo, that's
engage in
fucking
the world through free
unhinged.
trade and economics. rather
Isolationist
than
can't be a world of free
through
trade if you're
parading
isolating.
around,
Do you understand how
being,
retarded you sound?
the policing force of the world.
That was
Now,
under
Trump doesn't
Reagan.
offer
What the
that,
fuck?
But
That
what
was
he at
under
least
Republicans.
offers is something that is less starting
What
wars
the
all over the
fuck?
place for terrible
This
reasons.
nigga's
I mean,
unhinged.
in the 2011 overthrow of Gaddafi, we took the side of Al Qaeda and
Yeah,
helped
America has helped a
basically
lot of
kill
fucking.
Gaddafi
America's helped
and
a
bring
lot of
back
terrorist
slavery
organizations
to
and brought back
Libya.
terrorists.
Slavery
Yes.
back to a North African continent for the first time in
I don't think anyone brought back.
150 years.
I don't think anyone helped bring back. Let's just look that up.
We took the side of Al Qaeda in Yemen against the Houthis and supported a terrible, terrible war there. And granted, that war continued through the Trump administration.
Yeah, it's kind of
but
unhinged that
people
they
like,
talk about slavery.
Matt
Dude,
Gaetz, who put out
Africa
the war
has been
resolution in
fucking
Yemen. I believe
horrible.
Bernie Sanders put out the war
Don't
resolution
bring
in
out
Yemen
Matt
as well,
Gaetz.
but then
Don't bring
backed
out
down
Matt Gaetz.
from it
Don't do
last
that.
minute. You had
Are we really gonna act like America is the reason
Trump
why
back out of
slavery
the
is
war
in
in
Africa?
Syria,
There's no way that this is the
where
world
we're
we're
not
living in.
giving again
There's
on
no
the side
way.
of Al Qaeda and
There's been
ISIS
child
in
soldiers in
Syria
fucking Africa since
against
the
Assad,
dawn of fucking time.
and I thought that was
Okay.
just a terrible, destructive policy. So I think Trump ended the consensus that existed within the Republican
So it
Party.
sounds like you don't like
Since people
Trump or
like William
Biden.
F. Buckley
Good thing
and
Harris was
Barry
running and not
Goldwater
Biden.
established it.
He
So
didn't.
you
Get the
can do
fuck out of
things
here. He did not.
like have an America First foreign policy, or do things that the Conservative Party didn't previously want, and I think that's a good and a bad thing in some ways. Like
I have a question about that. I gotta look that up.
for example, on abortion, Trump is the most moderate president on abortion on the Republican side that we've ever had.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They still
more
support.
abortions
They still
have
support.
happen now because of the
Whoa,
repeal of
hold
Roe v.
on.
Wade
Okay, come
than there
on.
was previously.
No, what?
And,
Oh
I know
my.
you guys are saying that's like the number one.
He's fucking
for,
unhinged.
a huge issue that we focus on. It's crazy to see how in politics, Trump has sort of broken this red line in the Republican Party to say no. Actually, we can be moderates on abortion too, and
There is, but that's
this
the
whole
thing.
idea
there is no
that Trump is
moderation.
supporting a
Imagine
national
being
abortion ban
a
or
moderate.
national abortion ban.
No one said that either, but he did overturn Roe v. Wade.
Completely false, and a lot of the
doesn't matter. That's not what I
ideas
said.
that
No
are
one said that.
sensationalized in Project 2025 aren't actually things that he believes or supported in the past, and
Doesn't matter. No
like,
one's saying that. Doesn't
you
matter.
can
That's not what anyone's saying.
act
No
like
one
he's
ever
gonna
said
end
that's what
all
Trump is
divorce
gonna do.
and or in place a national abortion ban and do a all Muslim country ban and things like that, but it's just not reality. And
Well, he did.
I think if you're being objective about
He
it, you
did.
have to say that because I
He
very
did.
much despise Trump for the things that
Fuck
he
outta
did,
here.
but
Fuck
I
outta
still
here.
saw him as better as than the alternative. And I don't view voting as a full me condoning everything that a candidate did. I don't think anybody really thinks that. I more view it as a defensive strategy than a moral standing on values. And the last thing I'll say to wrap it up, I think like freaking frack.
No, go ahead. That's grandma.
Real podcasting.
You're good. Good.
Yeah. Sorry. But, we had this conversation last time about Ukraine, which is like a huge issue to me. It's a really big issue. It's probably like over 1 million dead and a new Cold War. And you think about how disastrous the last Cold War was and what this would mean for the direction that the world is going in, sort of having this, making enemies with Russia and China and, doing everything we can to not talk to them and ostracize them and all that. That Trump at least offers a way out of that. That's a bit more, pragmatic than send the Ukrainians into an endless war that they cannot win. And, I hope that you can see in good faith where I'm coming from, that this direction that we're headed in under neoliberalism is not good with, making enemies out of these people. And, you look at what we talked about last time, it's so hard to admit. It's like, even though we got to the place where we admitted that in the 2008 war where Russia invaded Georgia, the Georgians shot at South Ossetia first. And I'm not saying that warrants an invasion or that the invasion was justified. I just made the point that it wasn't unprovoked. And it's like, you have to, in good faith, admit that, yeah, it was provoked. And then also, last time we talked about Putin saying that he specifically does not want to restore the Soviet Union. I think it's very clear that he doesn't. And he said as much as he doesn't. And you had said that he did. And you could, Google Associated Press. Did Putin say he wanted to start the new Soviet Union? Fact check is false. He did not say that. And then to counter that, you linked me an argument of an Estonian official and a U.S. official saying that Putin wants to start the Soviet Union.
There's also an ex-Russian official. There's also an ex-Russian general that was close to Putin said as well.
But that's not Putin, right? So, I mean, I think,
all right,
so he's talking about these things. And last thing I'll just say is that,
go ahead.
We made the point last time about most of the money or the aid that we're giving Ukraine is in old military equipment and not money.
That's not true. They're actually giving them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, we give them billions of dollars.
Good.
We give them billions of dollars. When our country is 34 trillion in debt. So
good. So just real quick, because you keep wanting to bring the Russian-Ukraine thing. I'll just be honest with you. Fuck Putin. There's no way we can argue that down. There's no way that will get around that. Don't give a fuck what he says. People lie. I don't know if you know that, but people lie. See, that was a snarky comment. People lie. People bullshit. Putin has done a bunch of bad shit that actually promotes him actually wanting to bring back. But if he does or doesn't, I don't give a fuck. He invades countries. Fuck him. Don't invade countries. That's simple.
He engages in proxy wars as well.
Oh, and also to say it's a and you're right. The Georgia war was provoked. You're 100%. Russia was provoking Georgia. Georgia shot first. Hey, you hit me first. Fuck you, I'm gonna invade you. But again, you said a bunch of shit, so we'll go through all of it.
I appreciate you admitting that, by the way. That does take a lot of guts
to
admit.
It was provoked.
Thank you.
I doubled down that it was bullshit from Russia, which is true, because they did shoot first. You were right about that. Provoked by Russia. That was my main point. So the one of the things you said.
You mean provoked by Georgia?
No,
right?
Russia provoked Georgia. They shot. So that was actually in the paper too.
Russia shot.
Russia. No, I didn't say that at all. I said three times. Russia provoked Georgia. Georgia shot first. War. That's what I said, and that was actually in the article you sent me. They did say Georgia responded to instigations from Russia. They did shoot first. This is true. From instigations from Russia, which started the war. That was in the article. I'm reading the article, but I do want to get to the other things you said. Okay, you did say you went and looked on the left, and there was no honest people on the left. Where are they on the right? Every single person on the right lies to the point where Fox News.
You want me to name them?
Nope, because Fox News got sued, and it came out that they were willingly lying about the voter fraud. It all admitted it. Yes, we're lying.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No. Where has it ever happened to that scale on the left? Not in what we say they're lying about, where they're literally shown, proven lying, admitting it. Hey guys, we're lying about this. To the point where the people that were defending said, hey, I can't remember her name, but I'm sure I can look it up. Literally her defense was, you have to prove that people would believe it. I didn't think anyone believed anything I'd say. Giuliani going in court. Giuliani going in court saying, "This is my First Amendment right to lie." You have the biggest news platform, admitting to lying, admitting to it on one of the important things about this country. Okay, it's crazy because I think you assume, because you said you were watching progressive people on YouTube and then our shit popped up. I think you're assuming that we're on the progressive line that probably comes from saying fuck Trump and fuck Putin. However, there is a fucking myriad of things I can go into that has happened this past year from the far left and the establishment left. I could do on that for fucking days and years and months. I could go in on that. However, I will never in my life ever concede a point to a side that will never admit wrongdoing, that will never admit when they fuck up, that will never admit any wrong. And that's what the Republicans have done for fucking ever. Okay? You say that Trump is the most moderate on abortion on the conservative Republican Party. I agree. Because the Republicans are fucking insane. Yes, he's the most moderate because he decided to say, hey, I don't want a national abortion ban. He still cheered and prayed about getting Roe v. Wade overturned. He was happy about that. He clapped around in the fucking years. Everyone cheered and had fun. So just to assume that there's two sides to abortion is what I would say is fucking insane, because one side is control over your body between medical processes. The other side is says you have a choice. Those are the two sides.
So
One
do
side
you
is,
think
hold on,
abortion should
real
go
quick.
up?
I already said I think abortion should be a choice. A choice. There should
You
be
think it should go
no
up to,
ban.
like, the
It should
8th or
be a
9th month?
choice. So are we now talking about the term limits?
Yes.
We've gotten past the better ban or not. Ban or not. We've gotten
I'm
past
just
that.
trying to understand your view. I just want to
Okay,
know.
I can explain it. You don't have to ask questions. I can explain it clearly as clear as day. The beginning is choice. When we get to choice, now we can talk about the development of the child, when things get developed, how far along they are, third trimester bans, and all that crazy psychopathic shit. Okay? I don't believe in that shit. I don't like that shit. I do believe in first term, 100%. I'm on board with that. Maybe even second term, depending, and also any sort of medical shit, mother's life overall, 100%. I've had my fiance have 2 ectopic pregnancies. Baby didn't make it. Okay, so I've been through, again, life experience. 2 black dads, love experience in life. It's so fucking great. It will teach you a lot more than books will, even though books are other people's experiences that you'll learn through it. Anyways, we can get to term limits. We're not at term limits. There are still people in the Republican Party who want a ban, not a choice, but a ban. Okay? Once we get past the ban outright, then we can talk about term limits. I'm all down for that. We can talk about actually what goes on during this process. But we're not at that point in this country, which is a problem.
But there are states that go.
Don't
up
care.
to
I
the
do
8th,
not.
9th month.
You're not.
So how could you
You're
say
not
that
hearing
there's
me.
some people that say they don't agree with abortion
Damn, you're
at
not
all,
hearing me.
and there should be a ban. And then on the other hand, you're saying that they can have it until the 8th or 9th
Because
month.
on the other hand, they have
Why
a
wouldn't you
choice.
also address those
Because
people
on the
too?
other hand, they have a choice. You have a choice. That's why I said it's about a choice. The freedom to act. A choice. That's why. One says there is no choice. You only do or not. The other said there is a choice. I go on choice. The freedom to enact on your own body. First of all, even if you want to talk about how valid the baby will be in the 9 months, again, there's nothing to do with you if it's someone else's baby. That has nothing to do with you. There is no connection unless you want to talk about population growth and talk about all that bullshit. We can get on that conversation. However, we can't get there yet because there are people that are against the choice. I believe in America. I believe in the freedom of speech, baby. I believe in the freedom of speech. However, I don't think you should go around dropping hard R's to people in public. I don't think you should do that. I can believe in freedom of speech and still understand there are limits to our freedoms. Just like if you go into a store, you can't go in that bitch, no shirt, no socks, no service. Okay? But you can have the freedom to walk around with no shoes and no socks outside. Okay? There
So
are
when it
limitations.
comes to
There are.
those
Hold on, I'm not
late-term
done. I'm not done.
pregnancies-
I'm not done. You said a whole bunch of shit. I am not done. Again, you keep talking about late-term pregnancy. We cannot talk about those until there is a choice. Okay? You keep bringing it
There
up.
is in many states.
You keep,
In
guess what?
states,
Guess what?
there
Guess
is
what? Guess what?
8th
There
or 9th
was a
month.
point. There was a point where it was everywhere, and now there isn't. So when we get back to everywhere, we can
No.
have those discussions. We can have those talks. We can have those
Not to the
discussions.
8th or 9th
We can have
month.
those discussions. Guess what? In some places, you can't get it at all. I'd rather you have the choice to be able to. What do you not understand about that? Are you not hearing that part? What I'm saying that I'm okay with a choice.
No,
You
I'm
understand,
not.
right?
But,
I'm
yes,
okay with
you've
the
made
choice.
that clear.
Okay, but you keep
then
asking me about
also
something
said
that's not a
when
choice.
It comes to the late term, that you're like, I don't like that. Do you think
Yes.
that it should be illegal, or do you think that, like, what do you think about that? Because in most
Oh,
places,
stop. You
Okay,
keep
go
going.
ahead.
You're rambling. Okay.
Yep.
It would be a choice, right? The late term is a choice. Okay, so we're past that. So we've passed we don't want a ban, we want a choice. Then we get to how far along should they be able to abort a fetus? That's the next question we have, right? So now we're asking, when can you decide to kill a fetus inside your body? Because I'll even say kill, because the motherfucker ain't gonna live no more. Motherfucker ain't gonna pop out. When can you decide that? Not my decision. It's the decision of the person. It's not my baby, not my fetus, not my pregnancy, not my relationship, not my family. Even if it was, it's not my sex. I didn't fuck that lady and get her pregnant. Okay? It's their choice. It's their responsibility to make that decision. It is not my responsibility to tell someone else when or when they should not do anything regarding that part of their life. That's not on me. That shouldn't be on local government, a state, city, federal, nothing. There should be no government involvement when it comes to pregnancy and abortion. None. Other than the ethical regulations regarding how you do it. We don't want fucking hangers, which is what we're getting now. In some places, we're going back to fucking hangers and hooks. We want it to be a medical procedure. We want it to be as safe as possible for the person, for the woman who's having the procedure onto them. We want all those medical regulations. However, the term limits of it, even though I disagree with those limits, it's not my choice. That's what you're not hearing me. You're not listening.
I'm hearing you.
I
I'm
disagree
also
with
wondering,
that.
though,
I disagree, but that's not my choice.
Fetus as a choice.
It doesn't. It doesn't because it's inside the body. It doesn't. No.
There you go.
It does. It's inside the body. It has no choice in anything that happens to it. It didn't have a choice in being created. It didn't have a choice in being in there. It doesn't have a choice in being killed. It has no choice. Yes. That is how that's how life works.
Like, I'm a proud moderate on abortion. I think that
Good night.
like
Buddy.
I think that
Real quick before you
mostly
go
has the
because
right idea.
I'm not done. Wasn't done. I was responding to everything that you said. All the way back from the left and side. Europe could have a good idea, but we can't get to that point because there isn't a solidified understanding of a choice. Okay? Now, if we can all get to that point of the choice, then we can have these more descriptive conversations regarding the term limits and the efficacy of the fetus and how much fuck, there's a word for it.
So you liked Roe v. Wade?
Hold on, there's a word for it. Why do you do that? Don't do that. Ask if I liked it. Don't say so you like it. Say do you like Roe v. Wade? Because when you say so you like Roe v. Wade, you're loading the question. That's like saying so you like rape. That's fucking insane.
Do you like Roe v. Wade?
Doesn't matter. We need a choice, okay? So there is no choice yet. There's it's clear because it's gone. It doesn't matter. It's gone. Why even talking about it? What's the point? It's gone. It's out of here. It's fucking cut. It's not coming back.
Would you tell an abortion activist that why talk about Roe v. Wade because it's gone?
I would tell an abortion activist to mind their own fucking business because it's not their coochie. It's not their sex. It's not their kid. It's not her coochie. What do you... I don't know if... Do you think these are... No, listen. It is not your choice. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. It is not... You're not the one having the baby. If that woman wants that baby gone, that baby gone. That is their choice over their body. It's as simple as that. I don't give a fuck if it's a woman, transsexual, sex change, female to male, male to female. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. None of that shit matters because it's not their choice. The person with the fetus inside them, it's their decision. Because it's not my body. There's no link between those two things. And the thing inside of it, that fetus, it didn't choose to get made. It won't get chosen to be unmade. Yes. I don't know if that's a... Maybe that's like a radical thing to say that it's not my body. I'm not the one that fucked to have the kid. And nothing, I was involved there at all in any way, shape, or form. And we got so many kids in the orphanage right now. It ain't got shit to do with population either. Go adopt one of them motherfuckers. They need parents. Why the fuck we need that life inside that body? It won't impact good or bad in the sense of us, but it will that person. We have no idea the circumstances of that person at all. So until we can get to, we all agree there should be a choice. Then the conversation can pull that next layer back around term limits. But the issue with these conversations is there is no choice. There's no conversation. It's just yes or no. And then they go, well, that person goes all the way until the end. That person says no. There's a choice. There's no choice. I'm going with the choice. There's a choice. It doesn't say you have to have it at 9 months. There's no rule saying you have to do it at 9 months. There's none of that. But there's a rule saying you cannot do it at all. You see the difference? One, there's a choice. The other, there is no choice. I will always go on the side of choice when it comes to this specific thing. I believe there should be a choice because it is not me. And when that person is forced to have that baby, ain't nobody gonna help that motherfucker. That's why that fucking office is so goddamn full. Motherfuckers want you to have the baby but also want to cut social spending. It's insane. Okay? I believe in the choice. It's a simple, cut and dry, smooth brain, ooga booga caveman head. Again, when it comes to, yeah, you see that? You see, oh yeah, true. Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine, okay? Because I believe in choice. I don't know, you're trying to get into this diatribe of like, but this has a longer term limit than this one. This could go all the way to 9 months. Okay? Is there a choice? That's a good choice. Are you going to step into that baby's life? Are you going to be the one to help that woman through the pregnancy? Like, do you have any kids right now? Just a quick question.
No.
Okay. So,
yeah.
there's just a layer that's involved there that the conversations that are happening should not be regarding a ban or non-ban. The conversation should be terms. That should be the conversation. But I'm not going to have that conversation because that's not the conversation being had. Okay? Again, we're going to go back to why we did the podcast, why we started talking, because I want to talk about what's going on. I don't like utopia talking. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't fucking matter. Because what's happening is there are places where it is banned. That needs to be talked about. Not places where there's a choice and it's a longer choice and you agree with or disagree with. Again, you can have an agreement about that. Not your fucking body, not your baby. You can have an opinion about that. You can be as smug as you want about your opinion. How grateful you think that your opinion, they're great. Who gives a fuck? There are places where you can't do it at all. Doesn't matter. Gone. When it's about Roe v. Wade, well, should we talk about Roe v. Wade? It's gone. Why are we talking about it? We need to talk about how the fuck we're gonna get from ban and choice. Roe v. Wade's not coming back. They're not bringing that shit back. That shit's gone. This is clear. Speaking about something that has it doesn't even have an impact anymore because it's gone. That shit's out of here. What is
still
current?
has a huge cultural.
It doesn't,
impact.
because what is current right now is there are some places where it's banned and some places where it isn't. That's the cultural impact. Okay, that's the important thing to talk about. You can have conversations about the past. You can, but that was eradicated when it was removed. It became
Well, it's still relevant
at first it was in the conversation.
Our conversation.
It doesn't.
About abortion.
It doesn't.
Everyone
Because
talks about Roe v. Wade.
you
when they talk about
can,
abortion.
you
have
can,
to
but
admit
it's.
that.
I didn't say they didn't. I said it's fucking irrelevant. There's no point to. That's what I said. I
Well,
agree.
It's
It's
still
talking.
relevant because it still dictates.
It's
all the
only
conversation.
relevant to the people that let it dictate their conversation. It's not irrelevant because it's not in rule. It's not in rule. It's not on the books. It's not there. We can talk about the Emancipation Proclamation. We can talk about that. That's relevant, right? Slavery. No, it's not. It's already there. Boom.
No,
We're
it is
at it.
still absolutely
We're already here.
It's absolutely
You're not listening. You're not listening.
The
You're
past
you're
is
you're you're,
relevant.
you're being a
The
debate
past-
bro right now. You're being a debate bro. You're not listening to
Sure.
what I'm saying. You're not listening to what I'm
I'm
saying.
hearing what you're saying. I could
Yeah,
repeat
there you go.
that.
I agree. I agree. You're hearing what I'm saying. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm glad we agree on that. You see what I did? You see how you rolled your eyes? It is relevant because that's the same fucking thing. Listen, the Emancipation Proclamation actually is more relevant than Roe v. Wade because it's still signed in. It's still existing. Roe v. Wade doesn't exist anymore. It's a figment of our imagination because there were a bunch of people that got together and said, "I'm happy it's gone." There were a bunch of people that decided to remove the choice from other people and put the choice in the government, which you stood on. Listen to what I'm saying, baby. The government should not have no fucking choice. The government should not be in my girl's coochie, your girl's coochie, his girl's coochie, a random girl's coochie, a man's coochie. They got them now. Government has nothing to do with any of that. The government should not be making rulings on abortion. There's no logical push that the government needs to have a say.
Do you
They-
feel the same way about vaccine mandates?
He ain't listening. He ain't listening. I already said you should have a choice, baby. You ain't listening. That's what I'm saying. I said you should have a choice. I already agreed that.
Vaccine mandates as well.
I already said you should have a choice. So if it means has a choice, it means I'm against you forcing it on other people. If you don't want to take it and you want to get sick and die, get sick and die. If you don't get sick and die, you made it. That's your choice. I'm not like I'm.
Position for
It's radical to
today,
want a
I
choice.
think, you know.
Well, it's only radical because you are
would
lost.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
You've already admitted that you've been sucked in by the girthiness cock of the right side because you were on the left side and you were like, "Fuck me, I don't get what I want. I don't agree with this." So then you jump all the way. There's not a person on the left that can stop me from believing in what I believe in just because they're doing some crazy shit or they're dishonest. I don't give a fuck if every single left person were dishonest. If one of the left views is some sort of biological freedom for abortion, I agree with that. I don't give a fuck if they're lying about everything, lying and all that untruthful bullshit, because that's what Republicans are. They don't give a fuck who lies. They don't give a fuck. They just want to be anti whatever the fuck is there. That's why a conservative is to conserve. They want to conserve some weird fuck. Make America great again. It's insane the slogans and shit that pops out, okay? But I'm, again, because you keep getting me sidetracked on this other shit, but I gotta go back to some crazy shit you were saying before. You were talking about Trump is good for foreign fucking policy because Trump likes to make friends. Where? What good did we get from pulling out of the fucking France shit? What good did we get of giving Iran nukes? What good did we get from going over to North Korea and doing a picture, just shaking hands?
Wait,
What
we gave
positive?
Iran nukes?
Yeah, we moved off their ban. We let out of that deal, so Iran were able to get in there.
Iran's not a nuclear.
Iran has the ability, and they're about to start pumping, baby.
They don't have nukes.
That's what we did. Hold on, real quick. Just because the assertion you made, my assertion was we got out of a deal that gave them the ability to start pumping nukes. So in my mind, you have nukes now. Okay, but you said that
we gave.
but-
You said we gave Iran nukes.
Yes.
That's what you said.
by removing ourselves from the deal that stopped them from having nukes. I'm sorry. Again, I'll be more particular with the words that I'm using because when I did that to you, you rolled your eyes. But now you do not like you don't understand what I'm saying. Okay, I was a form of figure of speech. Okay, we gave them nukes in lieu of removing the ban that they can't have them. That's what that means. Okay, then I'm being more specific. However, your statement was they don't have them. How do you know that?
Because we can monitor their uranium enrichment centers, and we can see
How do you know they don't have
what levels
nukes?
that they have.
You can monitor their stations that they show. What about the shit they don't show?
Well, you can't do uranium enrichment in private.
Why not?
It's because they have ways of detecting it, and our
You can-
intelligence would have ways
why
of
can't you get
detecting.
So they
if
can't get
Iran
around
had,
that? There's no way to get around that?
No.
No? You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure? Okay. Cool. They have the ability to.
Yeah. I mean, it's
They
widely
have the ability.
considered-
They have
there's
What
no
my hold on.
secret
My premise was
conspiracy that
they
Iran
have
actually
they
has
have the ability to.
Right.
They have the
Nobody
ability
thinks
to.
that.
They have the ability
Yes,
to.
Yes, we know
Yes.
they have the ability to, but
That's
they don't.
that's
And it's
no
a
hold on
far
wait
cry away
stop
from
stop
having
no
the
no
ability.
no
It's very different.
it's not it's not
Yes, it is.
because do you know how many nukes Russia has in the state they're in?
The most in the world.
How many? Do you know the state they're in? Are they in good standings? Like
Enough to nuke the world several times over. I
wait,
know
okay, come on.
exactly how many. I
Well,
don't have
because
the number off the
because
top
you
of
do
my
know
head.
you do have a widely understanding of the detection system of understand. So if we can detect how many they have, we should know how many they have, right? We can detect it. So we can
Yeah,
detect how many
we have
Russia has.
an idea of about how many.
So we don't know?
Russia has. We know they have more than us, but we know the
don't.
range.
So we don't know how many. So we don't know.
But we know that they have
Are we-
enriched uranium. We know where they got it from. We know
Okay, but we don't know how many they have.
we know a lot about that.
Can you just answer the question I had? Because you said
Yeah.
we know we have a ballpark, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but we know for sure. For sure, Iran doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
As sure as you can know anything, right?
As you can be, yeah. Fair enough. Okay, yeah.
Because
So-
there's
so-
no
oh,
conspiracy on the left or the
that's
right that
that's why I
Iran
said
actually does have.
good
nukes.
thing
Nobody
I
believes
clarified when I said we gave them. I was saying that we gave them the opportunity to, because before there was none. There was a hard stun lock, and now
Yeah.
the lock has been removed. That's all I said. Now we can continue on to everything else that you said, because you said a lot.
Mhm.
You said a lot. Okay, but I do want to go back to the question on who's honest on the right, like big figures on the right.
Yeah. So I like a lot of the, like I said, like the non-interventionist, right-leaning, like libertarian people. A lot of like people that are socially right. In terms of good writers, I like people like Scott Horton, Dave
Okay, I'm
DeCamp.
sorry. My question was wasn't
Yeah.
clear. It wasn't clear.
Thank you.
Like you can tell me like major figures on the left who are like lying, right? Like big figures, not like obscure or like you could tell, like you point to
Yeah.
like, look, people listen to that person, they're a major figure on the left, right?
I could tell you a lot on the right too. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay. So that. All right. Another
I can tell
thing.
you who I like on the left as well. I mean, you know,
That doesn't matter.
hate
Voted for
everybody,
Trump. So a big thing that you, again, we said there's no wars under Trump.
No new wars.
No new wars. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So the war with Israel and Gaza has been going on since the inception of Israel. Palestine's been
Kind of. Yeah.
no, not kind of. It's been there ever since Israel was established. They've been attacked and under war between their surrounding countries. There's nothing new about that. There's nothing fresh. There's nothing that's been going on for forever. Why that's been going on, we can discuss that later. But that was nothing new. The attack happened during Biden, October 7th. That attack happened, but the war itself has been going on since before we were both born. So that's nothing new.
But I mean, it's a little bit tricky to define because
It's not. We can go to
it
the next
wasn't
thing
like a
because
hot
I didn't
war
interrupt you
like
the whole
it
time you
was
were talking because I remember you complained that I was interrupting you, so I did not interrupt you the whole time you went in. You got to go in. I tried to give that back to you, so I just hope you can give that back to me.
You
Because,
also had that as well. I thought we were having
Well-
a little bit of a back and forth right now, right?
no, because I didn't because
Okay.
I didn't respond. Yeah, you got to respond. Then there can be a back and forth. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
No, you're good. I don't mind the back and forth, but the responses that you gave before weren't anything other than no new wars, which again is a talking point that's pushed by the Republicans. That is just.
I said a lot more than that.
Did I say all you said entirely?
I thought that's what
Or
you
were,
said.
or
My
were
bad.
we specifically just talking about no new wars? That was the time I jumped from the right and left
Okay,
honesty,
continue,
and then
yeah.
the no new wars. There was nothing new about Israel, Palestine, Gaza. Nothing new about that. then there were talks about regarding the American government and how we infiltrate and topple other governments. Yes, we do this. I don't think we can name a president that hasn't. Even George Washington did when he Revolutionary War. Fuck it, fuck Britain. Okay, listen. I don't think this is a plus. I don't think the fact that Trump couldn't get shit done in the way that you weren't against it is a plus for all the negative shit he did. Basically, from everything that I've heard you talk about, I've heard this a million times before, that it just gets knocked down. Trump didn't do shit good. He just didn't do shit good. It was bad. A lot of things that were bad. He didn't follow through with anything he said he was going to do. He said he was going to repeal the ACA. Didn't do that. He said he was going to build a wall. Didn't do that. Didn't follow through. Didn't follow through with anything he said he was going to do. And we can't have the same excuse that they had for Obama, because he had the fucking Senate and the House. Trump had the longest shutdown in government history, and he had full control. The longest one in U.S. history. There have been other shutdowns. He had the longest one in U.S. history. You can look that up, baby. That's signed, sealed, and delivered.
I wish they shut it down
insane.
more.
It's insane to me. It's insane. But I don't know if you remember my earlier point. A lot of Trump supporters this time, I did say, I don't think they actually supported what Trump did. I think they're just angry and lashing out, and they just want the left to lose. That's all they want. They don't really care about anything going on. Now, you can say you do care about a war in Ukraine and Russia. You said that's the biggest and most important thing here.
Possibly,
and he said like millions of people died. There have been way more people died in the Middle East. Way more people died in Africa. I think you said something
I'm
that
also very
I think you said
about those conflicts too.
No, you're not. I think you said Obama said
I've written
in-depth
articles about them.
I think
I've made it a
okay.
huge bring
Okay.
attention to those conflicts.
Okay. Yeah. I think you said Obama helped bring slavery back to North Africa. He said we
Correct.
supported Al Qaeda and they brought North.
Yes.
Do you know the state that was going on in Africa or anything like that, or?
Oh, in Libya.
In Africa as the continent of Africa, the child soldiers and shit like that, and like all that fucked up shit that goes on.
Yeah, well, I said North Africa. Yeah.
Okay.
There's the sort of like.
No, I understand. Hold on. You don't have
institutionalized-
to. You don't have to dive in. You don't have to dive in. You don't have to go on. I understand. I was just asking a question. There is nothing behind or hidden behind the question. It was just asking. Okay. You don't have to assume I'm hiding something. Okay. I don't need a diatribe about that. I was just asking a question. Okay. Because those things had nothing to do with Trump. That's why I was confused why they bounced back to Trump. You did make a statement that said like Trump. I can't remember the exact words you said, but it sounded like you're saying like Trump modernized conservatism or Trump removed.
He changed the consensus in the Republican Party.
How did you do that again?
Well, I broke the existing consensus again, for better or for worse. There's some good and bad things that happened with it.
What was the good part
for a while?
From the Conservative Party? Yeah. Could you say he broke what they're doing?
I think he broke with the neoconservatives in a meaningful way, although that is somewhat debated. I know he still has a lot of neoconservatives around him, but he broke heavily in rhetoric from them, and he won an election on that, and that's important, right? Because it showed that people were sick of,
people are anti-establishment. Yes, people are anti-establishment.
Yes.
But what was that he did that broke that?
What was that he did that?
Yeah, because you said he broke what was previously established by the Conservative Party, the neoconservatives, is what you said. He said he broke that. What was the thing that he did that broke that?
With a lot of his rhetoric, I mean, his first on the debate stage, when he was talking about the people that supported the Iraq War and went after people in that way, it was pretty revolutionary. Like, yeah, that was all predicated on lies, and you guys supported that. So he won an election off that rhetoric, and I think that's pretty great.
So
I
disagree. I think the biggest thing that bolstered Trump was what you even agree with. You said you were a Bernie supporter. Was the big thing that bolstered Trump, even though you said you voted for Hillary, was the anti-Hillary and anger from the anti-establishment. I think the biggest thing that Trump rode on was the wave of Bernie supporters. I think there was a giant divide when Bernie got fucked. Bernie got fucked hard by the DNC. The DNC fucked him hard in the ass. And I think that anger from seeing that happen, from all the excitement from Bernie, bolstered Trump that first time. I don't think... Now, I will say Trump did do some wild shit, but I think that only helped in, like, maybe separating him from the rest of, like, kind of the people in a sense of how he speaks, but his actions are just deficit spending, tax breaks for the rich. There was nothing revolutionary about Trump's presidency when it comes to laws or policies or movements. It was all
I
talk.
mostly agree. Yeah.
It was all talk.
Yeah. I mostly
So
agree.
and I've already said that I understand that time in that era of that world why that happened. But my contention comes from, first of all, we forget he lost against Biden. That was an L. I'm tired of people talking about, oh, well, Trump won again because Trump lost because he fucked up, and he won again because propaganda, bullshit and lies. Okay, it's all bullshit and lies. He even said himself, it was groceries. He literally said he started saying groceries, and he started seeing that take off, and that's what he went on. Trump himself is even admitting that he's stopping things and people, they think that there's a problem with illegal immigration right now. There's a big problem with illegal. The problem is with asylum seekers. That's the issue. The issue is people seeking asylum. That's a problem because there's a process in this country that happens when you seek asylum that allows you entrance to the country. That's the big fucking problem. Ask a Republican that, they will not say that. They say there's a problem with illegal immigrants taking our jobs, getting houses, taking up all the social money. That's the bullshit that Trump's campaign ran on, which is all untrue. It's bullshit. He won off bullshit. That's what he won off of. But that happens in this country. It's happened before. I did hear you talk about saying something about Clinton. Were you comparing Clinton to Bush when you were saying that Clinton was better? Who were you comparing Clinton to when you said Clinton was better? You had to talk about before. You used to argue that Clinton was better, and then I don't know what you were.
Oh, Hillary Clinton was.
Oh, you're talking about Hillary Clinton was better.
Trump.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I would have called you on his
during the
too.
2016 election. I mean, I like I said, I was a big Bernie supporter. Bernie dropped out and endorsed Hillary. I kind of reluctantly voted for Hillary at that time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking about past before that with Bush and all that wildness.
Right.
But no, yeah, there is no world where even we see what happened, because even when I say what Trump did, it's such a small list of good, and even the only thing good I could say would possibly good is maybe Space Force, maybe. I think he did something regarding felons. Maybe there was some prison reform stuff he might have done towards the end.
How do you feel about him withdrawing out of Syria? How do both of you guys feel about that?
James may be feeling more on foreign policy talks about that. My main thing regarding anything Middle East, North Africa, any of these nations and countries where there's constant fiddling and faddling from multiple governments to push and pull on either side of what they want to do, I say that Trump is an opportunist, and I think that Trump saw the reaction from when he bombed, and he saw the reaction from the people that was supporting him, and so he decided to jump out. And this is when he said, I'm going to jump out of Africa, I'm going to jump out of Syria, and this is when he's like, oh, positive reaction, that means it's good. I literally think Trump is, and it kind of shows it's been proven, Trump is an opportunist. If he knows something that will get him support, he'll do it. I don't think he gives a fuck about the Middle East. I don't think he could give two fucks about North Africa. But I do think he understands about supporting himself, and he sees negative reaction from bombing, positive reaction from pulling out, and so he pulled out. From him, I don't think there's any, and again, I understand the conversation is going to go to about American interventionism, and it's going to go about the stabilization of the Middle East. I can understand that. However, in current modern day, the person that did that thing, the only reason it happened, had nothing to do with any of that, which I think hurts the conversation, because I don't think Trump, as a person, had any idea the actual change that would come from pulling out of that country instead of this will give me support. Trump as a person, I think, has zero understanding of any deep level of any theory regarding foreign politics other than support. This is why he promotes. This is why he says he loves the dictators. He said he would love to be. He said he loved. I didn't know. Hold on. Don't go to Hitler. None of that's crazy shit. But he did say that. He did say he likes the way people react to him. He likes when everyone give him all the attention in the room when he walks in. He says that's Trump's mind. Trump is. That's what he is. That's what he does.
I would rather have that than I would rather have the right thing for a selfish reason than the wrong thing happen.
Well, this is the thing. This is all the thing. I don't agree, because when you say that, all it takes is for someone to disagree with you to think of the same thing as a bad thing. You say it's the right thing because you agree with it, but the result can't justify the means. It can't. the process in which it happens and why it happens has to be the more important thing. Because all it takes is one different change in his ear, and I was like, fuck it, let's go do it this way. Now let's go bomb it. That's it. A person that only goes off whims of selfish notions has no reason to be in control of a nation. A company and a corporation, yes, because your whole thing is profit, 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 profit. Gimme. When you're running a country, if everything's off the whim of selfish reasons, I don't give a fuck what happened. That's bad. That is a bad thing. That is a bad thing. That should not be there.
I think all the presidents in my lifetime were terrible presidents. I don't think we've had a good president since, I don't know when. Calvin Coolidge, maybe?
You're just unhinged. That's fine. It's okay to be unhinged. But in reality, with people that were helped from the ACA...
What do you mean?
Well, you're unhinged. But the people... Because in reality... Why? Okay, so in reality, the people that were helped by President, even Obama, the ACA, that was a great fucking thing that happened. That was incredible. That was unprecedented. When unprecedented positive movements in this country happen, that's a great thing. Great guy, came in with a horrible economy. Now, it feels like your main push is foreign policy. Like, I feel like every time we talk about a president, your main thing goes to, like, foreign policies and stuff, which I can agree, foreign policy as a whole is a lot of really fucked up shit. Every major superpower does it. It's not like there's a place in the world where America's at that Russia also isn't at, China also isn't at, and the UK also isn't at. That place doesn't exist in the world. All of the superpowers do the exact same thing. Now, I'm not saying they're good, but I'm saying to try to act like America bad because doing the same, that's retarded. Let's be adults. Again, we come back to real people. Real people have real conversations. Every major country's doing this. Every major country trying to find a way to get what every single... That's insane that you would shake your head. No, every proxy war in the Middle East has been between Russia, China, America, the UK. Africa has been mostly the European countries that have been there and fucked that place up. What are you talking about? Every major country does this. They all have their fingers in as many things as they possibly can. The issue is America has more fingers. We got more fingers and more holes. That's the problem. That's the only issue I see here, because the actual act of toppling the government happens all the fucking time. Happens in multiple countries. Genocide happens in multiple countries. But when America has their finger in there, that's when the issue sprouts out. Because we don't talk about the Chinese and fucking Taiwan. We talk about none of that crazy shit going on over there. Where the fuck is that? Chinese, the British in Africa, Russia in Middle East, Russia and Africa. All these countries are doing the same fucking thing. Proxy wars happen around the world. That's why they're called proxy wars. You can't have a proxy war with one side. One side can't be the only proxy war. There's proxy wars with all the other great nations. And the issue is people just can't... and I don't know why. Maybe I think it's because for so long there's been a notion of we're good, they're bad. And I think people are contrarian themselves to go, wait a minute, they can't be all good, so some of that bad must be good. I don't disagree that it's possible. But I think the notion that... I think there's this weird super notion that somehow these other countries are just kumbaya, we're fucking victims, people attacking us, people coming down on us, people are making enemies of us, and we didn't do anything. We're just fucking chilling, dog. I think that's a bad, horrible way to view the world. Every single major country has done something shitty, but that's how they got in power. That's how they became superpowers, because they've killed millions of people. They've destroyed countries, destroyed governments. That's how they've been able to absorb that shit and have them press the foot on people. That's how that works. But the issue here is there's only one country right now, currently, modern day, today, directly invading another sovereign country. Directly. Not from proxy, not from over there. I'm talking about my border, me push on you border. That's horrible. That's not good. You also said you support the isolationists. You support isolationists, government that support free trade. That is a pipe dream. There's no world where you isolate with free trade. Because the problem is, I don't know if you, maybe we all kind of know about civilizations. We understand trade routes. We understand there needs to be people protecting trade routes. We need to have the ability to go from here to here and trade things out there. You don't have that if you only defend your kingdom. You don't have that if you only isolate yourself into one pocket of the world. I don't think that any country should have one control over one area. I'm a full fucking hardcore. We should all be super fucking together. There should all be movement and trade and immigration and movement between people around the world. There should be no locking in and pushing in one thing here and fuck that. I don't believe in that. I do agree there's gonna be some crazy shit that may happen from that because terrorists exist, okay? But I don't believe in any isolation. I don't believe that because if that was real, I wouldn't exist. So I can't believe in something that would make me not exist. Just my personal preference. It's my personal choice. You don't have to debate that. It's not something you can debate on, actually. Just so you believe in isolation. Well, I don't believe in that. I believe it to be open. Okay, so we got past the left, unhonest.
I mean,
Trump, no new
in
wars.
my opinion, you do have to be pretty unhinged to think Obama overthrowing the government in Libya and bringing slavery back to North Africa
When did anyone say that was good?
Saying that
When did
that's
anyone say that
he
was okay?
A great president.
When did
To say
anyone?
that
Hold
he
on.
was a great
Who
president
said
and
that?
happened during his presidency?
Who said that? I said the ACA was a great thing. That's what I said. I didn't say anything that you just said.
Well, you said
At all.
I was unhinged after.
You're unhinged for
saying
thinking
we
that
didn't
there's
have
been
a great
from
president
Coolidge.
in our lifetime.
Yeah, you're unhinged for that. I think you're unhinged
they're
for that.
all bad presidents. Yeah.
If they're all bad since George Washington. You go all the way back to George, because every
And then
single
you brought
one
up
after
Obama
that.
passing the
AC,
Affordable
as a
Care
good
Act.
thing that he did a great
That's
thing.
a good thing.
That,
I
not a
didn't
good
say that
thing. That's a
presidents
great
didn't do
thing.
good
That's
things.
and that
But I'm
I
saying
think
if you
personally.
judge them overall, they did a lot of them did a terrible job, and I think Obama was.
I don't
one
think
of
he
them.
did a terrible
And
job.
I'm sorry, I think
No, you agree with
Al-Qaeda, siding
foreign.
with the guys that bombed
You
the
agree-
World Trade Center in 3 different wars is
Listen.
a bad thing.
Listen again.
I mean, literally,
Go
Trump
ahead.
did the same thing.
'Cause
He
I-
said
I'm-
deal with the Taliban.
It's unhinged. Thank you. It's unhinged. He did the same shit. Trump has
And
been
the
supporting the
Taliban-
same
Hey,
people.
Let
The
him
same
talk, let him
people.
talk. You're talking
Fuck
over
you!
him.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll mute everyone and kick around the fucking call. Don't tell me what
Dude,
to
no
do.
one's even
Okay.
watching this
God
show.
damn. I know it's just us
Respect
talking.
your
Okay.
co-host. Let him talk.
And yeah,
Go
when the
ahead.
Taliban.
Listen, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Who the fuck you talking to? Okay. I'll let the fucking person talk if I fucking want to. I'm getting tired of this fucking shit. Okay. Calm the fuck down. Okay. Chill the fuck out. All right. I'm tired of that shit. Okay. I've been passed. I'll let James can go on for hours. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So go ahead, James. Go ahead. Also, you've been muted, so you're yelling at your screen while no one's watching. Go ahead, James.
All right, so just the whole thing about Syria in general. Trump's whole idea of Syria, which he said on Truth Social, was that's not our war. Let them fight it out. That's his whole idea about the Middle East. If he's so about peace, why would he let the Middle East self-destruct and destroy itself? Why would he let the Taliban take over the government, silence any type of protesters, kill them, arrest them, any type of protesters in Afghanistan?
No,
Pretty
James,
much
it's bad.
destroying the country. There are
It's
people
so
in
bad.
Afghanistan who want to escape, but their visas, they can't do it because they don't have the visas.
Such a
They're literally
great
stuck in the
place.
country and they're terrified for their life. People in Syria are revolted against Assad. These people do not like the governments they have. They want the United States to help them. I don't understand how you think that the Middle East is like, please, the United States, leave. No, the terrorists and the people who are trying to destroy these regular citizens in these countries are the ones who want the United States to leave, because they continue to do this iron will that you say that you hate the United States of doing with these vaccines, saying, oh, this is terrible. What we're doing, like, oh, we're forcing everyone to take vaccines. They're forcing people to shut the fuck up and you listen to your
Yeah.
government. If you don't listen to
Yeah.
your government,
This
you're going to
fucking
die
guy,
or you're
man.
going to arrested.
What
And
a
if you're a
fucking
woman,
weirdo.
this is the thing, it's in this is in Afghanistan.
He's such a fucking idiot.
Women cannot
I swear.
go
I
past
couldn't hold it
sixth
back. I had
grade.
to call
They
my
came back
bitch.
to
I'm sorry, guys.
They
I
have
had
to
to
get prepared to
What
become
the fuck is he talking
wives,
about?
stay at home,
No,
and shut
no.
the fuck up.
That's all American. That's all
terrible.
American propaganda.
I think that the United States need to assist in these countries
Nope.
to give them this type of freedom that they want, because
Yeah.
we have all the freedom in this country. I don't
Uh-huh.
care about any of the vaccine mandates.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we have
Fucking
all these
fat bitch.
freedoms that we can say, you know what,
Oh,
fuck
you
the government, I'm
come
not taking the
on.
vaccine. You know
I
what the
had
government
to
does?
do
They
it.
go,
The snarky shit was just
Right?
triggering me. God.
even a Biden, they're like,
getting under my fucking-
sure. I mean, you can't come to a government building if you're not vaccinated, which means that is a governmental area. But if you don't go to a public shopping mall and you don't get vaccinated, no one cares. No one even knows if you're vaccinated. But if you're in a country like Afghanistan or something, you're like a woman.
Yeah, I
you're
had
like,
to do it.
I don't agree with the government.
I had to do
You're
it.
getting your head chopped off. You're getting raped and murdered. You're done. I think the
I
United
had to
States
do it.
needs to stay
had
and
to.
exist in these countries.
This might.
I mean, I agree with everything that Obama did. Yeah, him working with them was not that great, but Trump did the same thing. But I don't think that negates what the president has done as being good or bad about our foreign policies, because again, people in the United States don't give a fuck about foreign policy. They don't care. You can tell them that the United States went on a country and murdered everyone. They don't care. The only time they care is when it becomes a
respect
focal
your
point. But at the
co-host.
end of the day,
Respect
I think
your
that Trump
co-host.
was absolutely horrific when it came to foreign
I'm
policy.
unhinged. I'm
And
angry.
His
I don't give a fuck.
idea of saying fuck it, let the
Fuck
Middle East
him.
do what they do, while Russia just continues to influence the Middle East and continues to try to topple governments as well. I think that's weird. And you saying that they don't do it, that's a lie, because they do it, and there's evidence they've done it, and there's been people who stated they've done it, and there's been actual people who went to these governments who have been Russian assets. It's fine. America
I'm
does it
saying
too.
not every country that has power exercises that. That's
No one said that. We said
No.
major powers.
Major
Don't
powers.
do that. Stop.
So
America
like
pulled out.
China's
Jesus
not
fuck.
doing the same thing
They
that
do.
the U.S. is doing right now.
They,
Oh,
they
you're-
do, but they do it in different ways. They
No,
do it
they're
through
Please,
not.
James,
trade,
go
and when they
ahead.
do it through trades, they
This
do it in
fucking
their way
guy's
of trades
retarded.
of like, hey,
Actually
you trade with us,
retarded.
you're fucked. China has a big thing when they do with cybersecurity, which I am into cybersecurity. North Korea, China, and Russia, have stole millions and billions of dollars from the United States and other countries and have used it to fund their own militaries, to fund their own influences in other countries by paying them off. This is the truth. This is the things you look up. The cybersecurity attacks in these countries are terrible, and China's the biggest one. So say they don't do it in the same way as the United States, sure, they don't have people on the ground, no Trump governments, but if they pay someone off and they use their resources that they stole from the United States and other countries, that's bad.
Well, that's a big difference, though. Directly bombing citizens versus stealing money. You admit that is a huge difference in the way that you go about things. Both are corrupt. I can agree. Yeah. But to have one that's literally taking the side of Al Qaeda in multiple different wars.
God, please stop. Yes, we understand this. They accept terrorists. Yes. Every fucking government in the U.S., every single president has, in one point in time, promoted a terrorist organization. That's all. Most of the terrorist organizations got their guns, training, weapons. It's been from America. Yes. In the Middle East. 100%. No one is ever denying that. However, Trump himself is not, he's not even fucking mentally capable of understanding the intricacies of foreign policy. He does not give a fuck. And that is a terrible thing. And he literally is what they said Biden was. They said Biden's a puppet. He's just in there fucking blah, blah, blah. That's literally Trump. Whisper in his ear some sweet shit. He'll fucking do it. That's the person you want in control of the fucking country? Or it takes one person from any side that you agree or disagree with to sweet talk this motherfucker, and he's gonna do it. That's the person. That's the one everyone voted for. And they're saying that's better than these past 4 years. We've been chilling here. You say that Trump did the same shit. Trump did the same shit. And guess what? I wasn't voting for Biden. We didn't vote for Biden, motherfucker. Biden wasn't on the ballot. Biden wasn't on the ballot. Trump is now the oldest president in the history of time. And he slurred his many words. He lost to Biden, who's sleepy. What the fuck does that say? He slurred his words. Trump did the same shit about run-on censorship. Trump doesn't have any answers. Trump has concepts of a plan. Trump said he wants to fuck his daughter. There's no world where Trump is not doing the same exact old person shit Biden is doing. He fell asleep about his fucking shit at the church, knocking the fuck out. Trump stood there after Trump stood there after the fucking meeting and just stood there. Trump did the same thing. Wait, if we want to talk about the debate, the problem with Biden, no, we can talk about the debate. First of all, Trump lied on the debate stage. Okay, I want to point that out there. We're talking about people lying. Trump outright lied to America in their face. Didn't give a fuck. Just lied. Okay, so if we really care about lying, we wouldn't like Trump, okay? Because Trump did fuck that bitch, and he said he didn't, okay, on stage. When we talk about Biden's performance, Biden had an issue with pumping out way too many fucking numbers. While Trump the whole time just says, wrong, you're lying, I'm the best. We have a fucking slogan machine as our president while the other fucking person sitting there trying to talk to you about what the fuck is going on, okay? That's the problem with fucking Biden. Did Biden slow down? Yes. Did Trump slow down? Of course. They both fucking did. But that's not a problem because you voted for Trump. Any issue you have with Biden, Trump has the same issue. You don't care now because Trump's there. That's the problem. That's the problem with that's the problem. To lie and to say random shit that it meant nothing. He didn't speak on anything. He didn't say anything. Trump didn't say anything. Trump doesn't say shit. Trump didn't say shit. Yeah, and Trump lost his incumbent run by that same person that got kicked out. What the fuck does that say? Trump lost the incumbent run. Oh yeah, sure. No. There's no oh yeah sure. There's no oh yeah sure. There's no oh yeah sure. No, you don't have one. You don't have one.
I think you
don't have one. You don't have one. You don't have one. You can say that. See, and there's another thing. That's an easy way to escape criticism. You have derangement syndrome. Therefore, everything you say is unhinged. I don't say that about you and Biden. I say you have Biden derangement syndrome. You see how you did this? How you play those words? That's the issue. That's the major issue. That's the major issue. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You just said he's having cognitive decline where this nigga is not having as much cognitive decline as people say. He's an old man, just like Trump. They're both old fucking dudes. They do. Can you name a time Trump actually said anything he was actually going to do other than tariffs?
Can I name a time Trump said anything he was
in this run for this 2024 run? Every single interview Trump has had, he has not said anything but tariffs. No, hold on. I don't know if that has anything to do with what I just asked. I said, is there an interview where he said anything he's actually going to do other than tariffs?
Yes. I thought you meant he followed through what he did.
No, he doesn't follow through with anything except taxes. He's not going to follow through.
Yeah, well, he said he was going to end the Ukraine war, for example. So that was one thing that he said he was going to do. He said he was going to help with the immigration problem.
Okay, I need, just give me 1 second. Because again, you're ski skirting around, but maybe I wasn't clear enough. I need something actually descriptive. Like, even Harris came out with actual plans regarding how to move forward. Even when Trump's asked, when he's directly asked for some sort of plan, he responds with, I have concepts of a plan. Can you tell me a person that is not in cognitive decline, they choose to speak in slogans? We can pull up clips right now from Trump answering questions where he doesn't answer anything. Every sentence cuts off and jumps to another topic. He says, oh, well, my daughter was great in this and Jerry did great and we're going to have a great thing. It's going to be that's why it's a meme. It's going to be big. Everything's big. I have great things. Big. There's nothing descriptive about anything this man says. He speaks in slogans. How is it an act? He's a literal robot that you press a button to and say, give me a new quote. You're a fucking drawstring and he says a new quote. There's nothing descriptive that comes out of his mouth. And he hasn't in 10 years. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
When you listen to those long form podcasts,
that's okay.
There are times where he sounds like a rambling.
No, not times. He always sounds like a rambling grandpa.
He actually can tell
when there's simple, when there's a simple explanation, when there's easy, simple words, Trump is great. Easy, simple, beautiful, big, great. I said groceries. I said the word groceries. The first time I said groceries. Yes, he sounds like a fucking retard. Okay, he doesn't sound like he's decrepit, but he still sounds stupid. Okay, what are you talking about? You used groceries for the first time in 70 years. This is what he says. This is the person you voted for. I said groceries for the first time in 70. What are you talking about, sir? What is going on in your brain? For a question asked about a plan. This was the question asked about a plan. And he says, I said groceries.
Too, after every question. What are you going to do about the war in the Middle East? She goes, well, I was raised in a middle class family.
You're wrong. You didn't watch it. You didn't watch it. You're lying. And I can respond. You're lying. Yes, you're wrong. You're wrong. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because if you simply watch the DNC, I can explain it if you shut the fuck up. If you watch the DNC, she clearly broke down the complicated relationship between Israel, the Palestinians, and Gaza. She clearly broke down how Israel has a right to be there, how the Palestinians feel shafted, and how we need to move together. You know what fucking Trump said? Not my war. So fuck out of here. Stop saying this. It's lies. It's just lies. Trump has no cognitive understanding.
She also said that she was working around the clock to get a ceasefire at that time.
And they got a ceasefire deal passed. They got a ceasefire deal passed between Israel and Ireland.
No ceasefire in Gaza.
There was. There were actually no. There were many. There were many ceasefires in Gaza.
On their behalf.
They're mercenary. What are you talking about? That was the Biden-Harris administration with France. What are you talking about? I said there was. There were. There were multiple. There were multiple.
Yes, but during the time she was talking about it, she's talking about the war between Israel and Gaza.
Multiple.
And that war is still ongoing.
Yeah, the vice president was.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Remember when you said Trump's not president? She wasn't president. She was trying. That's all she could do.
So this is the time where she's president, talking about she's trying to get a
ceasefire. Whoa, time when she's president. She's not president, and she didn't say she was going to get a ceasefire deal. She said she's no. She didn't say she was going to get. She's working towards, and she's vice president, not president. Let's be clear with our words. This is not a time where she's president. She's a time where she's vice president, and she's working towards a ceasefire deal. Okay, if we're gonna be honest with the words, be honest with your words. Okay, that's what she said. Okay.
I never said she wasn't vice president. We all know
you said she's president. You just said you just said she was president.
At the time. She's in the she's
in
vice
the
presidential administration.
She's vice president.
As
a vice president.
Executive.
Yes. As a vice president, it lead up to. You are correct.
Barely cognizant, so she's got a.
He's barely cognizant, but yet he passed 4 bipartisan bills. Hey, listen, Joe Biden may be old, but he passed 4 bipartisan bills. That was 4 more bipartisan bills that Trump didn't get passed. What are you talking about? He had 1 term, just like Trump did. What are you talking about? 1 term.
He had 2 terms as vice president.
One term as president. As president. Yeah, he did more than Trump did as 1 term as president. As vice president.
Yeah, I would argue that's
Ain't that crazy? For Trump, yes, I agree. Trump is shitty president, and you voted for him. So congratulations. Congratulations. That's a shit thing. That's a shit thing. That's a bad thing.
The worse it makes everything.
The only reason you can be on Discord complaining about the government is because the government gets shit done. What the fuck are you talking about? The only reason we have this shaky, shitty stabilization in America, in this country, is because of the government that we have. Because the government can get shit done. We have the choice, the ability to complain about shit. Go do that in Russia. Have fun. Go do that in China. Have fun.
Yeah,
where they just shut the internet off. They just shut the internet off.
The massive omnibus spending.
Listen. Unfortunately, in this government, in this world, we are a democratic, republic, capitalistic society. Okay, all these things moving together. You can't get one of all good thing here and just say, well, there's gonna be shit on this side. That's how that works. That's how both of these things get done. Again, the utopia talks are pointless, especially because we have Trump as the next president. Doesn't even matter. Anything we say here doesn't matter. The next day when Trump gets here, he can flip all this shit. He can say, fuck everything, I'm gonna blow everything. We don't know. We have no idea. There's nothing we can go off of other than COVID, pulling out of accords, meeting with North Korea. What did he do? What did he do for America in his first term? What did Trump do? Except try to get the ACA repealed and remove the mandate on it. What did he do?
Well, like I said, I think pulling out of the war in Syria was.
What did he do for America? We're not voting for the Syrian president. We're voting for the American
president.
president.
No new wars was a great thing.
America didn't start any wars either.
We didn't start any.
Okay,
with our American
hold on.
military there.
You're not gonna.
So
You're not
that
gonna
is
admit it.
relevant.
So again.
We
So
had
I.
troops
So
in
so
Syria.
again.
So
What
not
did
having
Trump do for
American
America?
foreign
What did
soil.
Trump do
I'm
for
telling you
America?
right now, you're just talking over.
You're not. No, you're saying
I'm
foreign
telling you.
soil. You're saying foreign soil. What
Yeah.
did Trump do in America for America? Not foreign policy. What did Trump do here in this country? What did he do for these people in this country? What bills or laws or anything did he sign to help any American? Not in foreign
not
policy.
sending young men that
So
are
you
born
weren't-
here
you
to
weren't gonna-
die in foreign wars
Okay.
is doing something for
So
America.
no. Oh, okay.
If you
So
can't admit
no,
that,
no.
you're just a
I agree. No, I agree. So none of our military was in
Okay,
any.
so you admit.
No, listen.
So you
None of our
admit.
military were in any foreign areas. We had no military in the world.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You said not sending Americans to go die. So no people got sent from America out to other
doesn't mean
countries.
that there were no American troops in other foreign countries.
You just said that. Not sending troops to foreign countries. But there's troops in foreign countries. So we sent troops in foreign countries. What are you talking
I'm saying
about? Did we
pulling
not?
out of Syria
Okay.
was a thing where
Cool.
we sent less troops over to foreign countries.
Less troops.
To
What did he do for
shit
America?
That was
In America.
nefarious and bad.
Just give me a policy he signed. Just one policy that he signed. I'll take one. Fuck it.
Again, I prefer the less the government gets done, the better, because
Okay,
they
but-
only seem to screw things up.
But
when
that,
you have,
this
like,
is not true.
you know?
This isn't, that's why we can talk. That's why we can have these discussions. What are you talking about? We're able to have these discussions and disagree because of the control the government has here.
and our rights.
The
of freedom.
Constitution written by who?
The bill
Protected
that
by
they get
who?
passed.
Protected by who? Which
Yeah.
has been ripped apart by Trump's people. There was a point. He's immune now. They ripped that out. They ripped that out of an amendment just for him. What are you talking about? Fuck the Trump even said to remove the Constitution. He doesn't give a fuck about the Constitution. What are you talking about? So you love the Constitution, but you voted for someone who said they'll get rid of the Constitution in order to do what he has to do.
Yeah, no, it's you're mistaking my point. I'm saying that the reason that we have free speech is because of our protections in the Constitution, not because of all the bills the government signs.
Yes. No. I heard that point.
Right?
I said nothing about bills. So I did hear your point. I said Trump
But you're talking
has
about
gotten
the Infrastructure Act.
no.
the CHIPS Act,
That was before.
things
That was
the
before.
government
That was
gets
before. That was
done,
before.
right?
That was
When you
before.
talk
No,
about
I'm not.
policies,
Ooh,
those are
man.
the
See,
things
this is when
that you
I
say,
this is when I don't
well,
like
this
talking
is
to
what
people.
Trump did
This is why I don't like talking to people
presently.
because you're not listening. You talking about it before. I said, what did Trump do now? Okay, and then you said the Constitution and the freedom of speech. Why we have Trump said he'll throw the Constitution out. So the reason that we have freedom of speech, Trump said he'll remove. We have freedom of press. Trump doesn't want that either. What are you talking about?
That's a total embellishment, man. He's going to
It's-
keep the Constitution around. Yeah, the Constitution.
Hold on.
didn't
Hold
dissipate
on.
in the
I
4
didn't.
years that
I didn't say
was
he was going to remove. I said he wants to.
He's going to throw the.
I didn't say he was going to. I
He
said
said
he.
he's
I
going
said he
to.
said he wanted
The
to.
internet
That's
is
what he
forever.
said. That's what he's. Okay, James. Listen. I love you as a person, but this guy right here, I literally just said, and you agree. Trump said he would throw out the Constitution. That's a quote that he said. The internet is forever. You are correct. That's what he said. That's what Trump said. Not Biden, not Obama, not Harris, not some fucking Coolidge. Not any of the president. The president you voted for said he would throw out the Constitution. Okay? That's what he said.
It was suspended multiple times.
Like, what are you talking about right now? Everything you support and you say you support, Trump spits in the face of it. He literally spits in the face of everything that this country was built upon. He doesn't give a fuck. He does not care. He has that greedy billionaire. There's a reason why we have fucking unions, okay? He's against the unions, but the unions fucking support them because people are brainwashed. But then you'll say you have Trump derangement system. That's an easy out. You are correct. That's the easiest out you can have. I say you have TDS. I don't have to listen to anything. You're all wrong. I didn't say you have BDS. I don't say you have any other DS. I say you've been brainwashed, okay? You saw one side, you got mad at that side, you flopped to the other side. I don't think any person who truly believes in convictions will just flip aside because he disagrees with some people, disagrees, okay? I don't believe that shit. Trump is not American. He's as un-American as you can be. And when I say Trump's not American, I don't mean he's literally not an American because he was actually born as American. I think Trump's not American because he's un-American. Just to clarify before you jump in and say that shit. Trump is the most un-American person we've ever had in here. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. He doesn't care. Now, I will say he's not as bad as slave owners because we had a lot of fucking slave owners because you might jump back to that because I know you like to jump around. Trump, as a modern-day president, is fucking garbage. Trump worked the same people you say Obama worked with. Trump worked the same people you say Biden worked with. Trump had all the same shit and worse because he didn't do shit positive. At bare minimum, I can say all these presidents are shit. At least there was some sort of positive notion that came through. Your only positive notion is that he changed the face of the Conservative Party. Fuck the Conservative Party. Who gives a fuck? What do you do for Americans as a whole? You're still so lockstep in one side versus one side. I'm thinking about the whole. I want Americans all to do good. I want all of us to prosper and flourish. That shit doesn't happen when you have a man who will change his mind at the flip of a fucking dime, whichever way the wind blows. A man who doesn't give a fuck. He'll just change shit. He doesn't care. And he's proven it because we've already had 4 years of this. That's the thing. This ain't nobody new. Make America great again, you forgot again. It's the second time. You were here, you lost, you came back. Make America great again. Now, what time are we going back to? Are we talking about the time before you were there? Like, there's nothing here. Concept of a plan. It's crazy that people will jump through hoops to try to make what he says make sense. But then when someone actually does good things, oh, he didn't actually do that. He's just a puppet. It's that whole mindset is insane to me. But that is the Trump mindset. That is the people that are there. That's what it is.
I don't think that I'm.
There's no way around that one.
Making excuses for Trump on every level. I criticize him.
No, no, you don't. You're just like all the other people that you say. I criticize. All right, hold on. So you're just like all the other people, okay? Because this is probably gonna be. I don't fucking. I feel like nothing's. Yeah, thank you. I don't fucking care. Nothing's getting solved here. You're lying. He's those people. I criticize Trump. I said what he said was mean. So I criticize him whenever. Fuck out of here. You don't criticize shit. You're not actually criticizing anyone. You're sucking his dick. You're trying to load yourself. Oh, I was a progressive and I was for the environment, but then I saw what happened and now I support Trump. Nothing that happened post fucking Hillary would make me support Trump. There's nothing that happened in there that would open that up at all. Like, fuck me. And I'm sorry, James. I know I did cut you off a lot and I don't over talk, but that guy, that was getting on my line. I couldn't do it. It's bullshit. Like you're lying and you're fucking bullshitting. You're not telling the truth. You're hiding around shit. Like you're not a real person. There's no way that's a real person.
He had no. When it came to Trump, he had no real art, no real.
None.
Anytime his criticism came for the pandemic, it went straight to
Russia.
But Biden continued it.
Yeah, and then that was a lie. And that was a lie because Biden on day one signed executive order axing all of his policies, which is a Republican talking point against Biden that he should have kept the policies. So he's lying. And then every time we have a conversation, he goes back to Russia. I care about the foreign wars in the Middle. You don't care about the Middle East. I mean, millions of people died in the Middle East, like 3 million, or some fucking crazy number. Oh, but 1 million people died in the Ukraine-Russian invasion. He keeps calling it a fucking war.
He was on a war. That's I was talking about before when I rolled some Blue Sky. It's the whole. It was a war. Like it was an invasion.
It's a fucking invasion.
War because they're trying to save their country.
Yes.
But you keep saying, why are we back in Ukraine? Because they're getting invaded.
They're being invaded.
And he's like, oh, well, he criticized Obama. It's for working with Al-Qaeda.
Like he was gonna know they were about to go fucking open up slavery, log. Come on, dude.
But then he's all behind Trump
doing the same shit.
Yep. Even though they're literally, we're gonna look it up right now. The country of Afghanistan is destroyed.
Yeah.
The Taliban control everything. They they control the media. Mm-hmm. Any news reporters, we have U.S. news reporters who were killed.
Yep.
Because they're going against it. They have reporters there who are dying. There are people who are protesting who have disappeared and their families are devastated because they can't find them. And the government's like, I don't know what happened to them.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's fine.
That's fine because it's Trump. And if you ever talk about foreign policy, the way they get out, they say, oh, they don't actually feel that way. That was America. We're the ones that toppled it. That's what they say every fucking time. And again, I will agree. We have toppled governments before. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but that can't be your excuse every time people want to revolt. Oh, that's not real. America's one. What are you talking?
America's the reason they want to do it.
Like we're so strong, but yet Trump got elected twice. Like how are we so strong, but we're so weak? We're so strong, but we're afraid of Russian nukes. We're so strong, but we're afraid of China. Like
Syria, as if the United States is the reason they wanted to build this government.
Oh my God, what are you talking about?
No, they want themselves.
Fuck
they
me.
did it themselves. What? Tell me why Assad escaped to Russia. Wait, you went like, oh well, he just wanted to escape there because Russia would be able to support him. But why would he support them? Russia didn't do anything in the Middle East. What the fuck how does Assad even know Putin at all?
Why didn't he escape to fucking Obama? Why didn't he escape to Obama? Obama support him so much. Yeah, should have went to fucking Obama's house. Look, and I called him a bitch, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but he pissed me off. He was so snarky. Like, am I crazy or was he just snarky as fuck? Every other comment was super just smarmy, and it triggered me. I ain't gonna lie, I got triggered. I said I got triggered. I couldn't do it and then he stopped answering questions. Like you start to pivot. Everything kept going back to Russia and Ukraine. I'm like, dude, what's going on in your mind right now? Trump, and then when we got that last conversation about the Constitution, Trump said,
Yeah.
"Fuck the Constitution." What now? What do you have to
But
say?
he was like, "Oh, Trump's not gonna do anything about it." Well,
Oh my
you know, you do need you need multiple people in the government to agree
Yeah.
to pass.
And
Well,
they all do.
he has people in the Supreme Court, the
Yep.
U.S. Supreme Court. He has people in literally
The House,
Senate,
the
in
Senate.
the House. They all are Republican. They're all behind Trump. The
All
whole
of
point
them.
of Project 2025, which he's saying that Trump doesn't know anything about, he's supporting the people that want to do Project 2025, and he's saying there's some good things. In the interview, he literally said there's some good things in Project 2025 that I agree with. But then
That's
in the same interview, in the same sentence, he said, "I know nothing about the Project
Yeah.
2025."
What is that? What is that?
But that's fine. But he's like, Trump doesn't know anything about it. That's bullshit. This
Yeah.
like, it's just too many lies. And I literally sat here. I was literally researching, like, every time he said something, I was sitting here. If you heard see me, I was
Mhm.
like, no, that's stupid. No, that's dumb. And let's let
It's
him
a
just
bunch
hang
of
on something,
lies.
'cause
Yeah.
it's all lies.
And then like his we gotta go because this has been way over time.
yeah,
uh,
we better get off.
But just the final thing that he said that triggered me the most, he was like, you sent me a bunch of articles with people saying Putin said he was back Soviet Union, but Putin never said that outright. Are you fucking serious? Is that the world we're living in now? Where we're back to like, I take you for your word, Putin. You haven't done anything to disrupt it. Like, what are you talking? And there was and like he was like, oh, you talk about this, the foreign people. No, it was an ex-government military official that was with Putin that reported that shit on him. What are you talking about? This is people just like that one guy. He was like, "Oh, Biden said he's a fascist." No, he didn't. Somebody in the room said he was a fascist. Okay, it's the same shit. Okay, it's credible. Okay, and fucking he's a fascist. But anyways,
And Russia's
fucking-
oh yeah, one more last thing.
Yeah,
Russia's
go
whole
ahead.
thing about Russia being a great again. So what does that mean?
literally, come on.
But
What
yeah,
the
we should
fuck. Yeah, but all right, listen. I love everyone except that guy. Fuck me. I tried to be a good fucking person, but that was so. That was oh man, smarmy and fucking and you know I hate that shit. That reminds me of all those Vegas people and fucking yeah. And everything I just see is smirking. Yeah, the
Oh.
respect is respect. People have lost respect because they're on fucking computers. People don't respect them anymore. But anyways, I love everything. This was fun. We're gonna do it again next week. I had fun. I'm sweating and shit. I had a blast. Okay, fuck that.
We
guy.
gotta put some clips. You gotta make some clips. So fucking
Yeah. This one might actually get uploaded as a video, so I'll put it on.
Especially with him leaving, that's a good clip.
Yeah, fuck that guy, okay? I'm tired of this shit. Don't run. Tired. Right. I love you. We're out of here.
All right.
Peace in the Middle East, except under Trump.